isn't it? Oh, yeah. Nope, that's okay. Alright, how we doing, guys? Today we're going to be commentating the Gold Coast Western Bulldogs game. Big game for both clubs. Western Bulldogs have been in very good form as of late. They've been performing very well. I think they won 4 of their last 5. Five of their past 6 games, I believe. Currently 6th on the ladder, and with St Kilda and Melbourne both dropping their games today, they could jump all the way to 4th by the end of the night if they win. Gold Coast, on the other hand, because teams like Sydney won last night, they're currently sitting 13th on the ladder. However, if they win tonight, though, the Gold Coast, they can get right back in the finals race as Geelong dropped their game against the Giants this afternoon, which was a massive win for the Giants, winning their 3rd time in a row down in Kardinia Park. So that's massive for them. Massive game. It was a great game to watch, actually, as well. How you doing, Swans, man? What are you up to tonight? So players are currently getting into position right now, doing a puzzle. Nice, man, nice. Right, teams are going to their positions now. This game is about to start. I've tipped the Bulldogs to win this game. My brother, who's, you would know if you guys watch the Boundary Riders podcast, has tipped the Gold Coast Suns in an upset. It's going to be a big game. It's already 27 degrees up in Darwin tonight. And the game has begun. Up in Darwin for Saturday night. No, it hasn't, but we'll just let it go. Alright, so the umpire thumps it down here in the middle of TIO Stadium. English goes up nicely. Taps it down only as far as Anderson. Gives out the handball nicely. Finds Rao. Both in very good form at the moment for the Gold Coast. He goes long inside the forward 50. Casbolt goes up. Can't bring it down. Comes through Richards at the moment. Playing in career best form. To Liberatore. Now running off halfback O'Brien. Kicks out towards the wing. And Jamara Ugle-Hagan takes a great mark. By how many? I think it'll be like 20, 30 points for the Bulldogs. Goes in short here. Ugle-Hagan finds Liberatore. Plays on the commentary side wing here. The Bulldogs at the moment. Been in very good form. This is a big game going up against the Gold Coast Suns. Goes in short to find Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Drop the mark though. McAndrew gives that the nice handball, and here goes Humphrey. Was brilliant last week in the Q Clash. Goes long, not the best option though. Miss King on the kick, it went too far, and Liam Jones cuts it off. The Jones takes the mark, goes out wide. It's a dangerous kick, but a good mark there from Oscar Baker. Been brilliant since he joined from from Melbourne in the off season. Goes inside, good kick. He finds Dale. So just chipping through at the moment, the Bulldogs. Poor kick though from Dale. Smith gets it on the bounce nicely. Gives it out wide to Baker, who drives it forward towards forward 50. Gets pushed out of it there. Lob play on out the back. Here goes Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Kicks it in short. Great kick. And he finds Tim English on the lead inside the forward 50. And a chance here for the Bulldogs to get the first. Yeah, so it's 27 degrees up in Darwin tonight, so it's really warm. I'm wearing my buddy my Swans, what do you call it? Bathrobe, because it's so cold. What have I done? Oh, did you watch this game last night? Yeah, man, we won. It was good. So Tim English in the pocket, 20 metres out, kicks towards goal, just fades to the left and goes through for the first score of Saturday Night Football. It's a great win. We're going to keep on going, though. You got to go now, though. Very tight. That's all good, man. Thanks for joining the stream, Swans, man. So, McPherson takes the mark inside the back pocket. Goes back to Powell, who takes the mark. Still in defensive 50 here. Powell's had a brilliant year for the Gold Coast. Goes out wide with a long kick, finds Andrew. Great kick. So Andrew takes the muck immediately, turns the dangerous kick. Humphrey gets hit almost across the head. Doesn't get the free kick though. Good pressure here from the Bulldogs. Bontempelli now as the football. Handballs it forward brilliantly. Williams has a short option inside the forward 50. It's a great kick and he finds Anthony Scott. About 40 metres out on about a 30-degree angle. Just a dangerous kick there from, it was Andrew in the end, I think, for the Gold Coast. It was just a dangerous kick. He sat it on Bailey Humphrey's head. It was an absolute suicide kick, and Humphrey could not take the mark. So good mark there. Good play there from the Bulldogs to get that forward. And a chance here for Scott to kick his first. Anthony Scott comes in, 40 metres out. Nice kick, and the first goal of Saturday Night Football goes to Anthony Scott. The Bulldogs start strong. Gold Coast on the back foot. Barrett. It's a poor kick there from Mac Andrew. He had Humphrey. It wasn't really open, to be honest. It was a poor kick, and he sat it right on his head. Caused the turnover, and in the end, the Bulldogs were too good there. Easy goal in the end. Start off Saturday night. So it's a big condition change for the Bulldogs, especially last week playing at Ballarat, which was very cold, and now going all the way up to the Darwin. So now out of the stoppage, Gold Coast do nicely. Humphrey in the middle of the ground almost gets the clearance, smothered well by Liberatore, spills out to Baker. He kicks it long. Andrew out the back, can't take the mark. Good work from Ugle-Hagan. Smothered well in from the Bulldogs. Norton out the back. Powell picks it up brilliantly in the soggy conditions, and a free kick's going to go to Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Great tackle. He gets a free kick for holding the football, and he'll take the front. About 15, 20 metres out. It was a great tackle there from Jamara. He started this game off absolutely brilliantly for the Bulldogs. So a chance here for the Bulldogs to get their second goal early in the game and set a real statement early in this one. Ugle-Hagan from 20 metres out, straight in front, kicks the goal. The Bulldogs have their second. He's looked good early, Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Kicks his first. Pharaoh, come on. If you can go out if you want, but it's wet. Already had the 3 touches, Jamara Ugle-Hagan. 3 kicks, already taken a mark. Has 1 tackle and has kicked a goal. He's had a brilliant start to this game. In the second of the Indigenous rounds, he's looked brilliant early. So back in the middle, the Gold Coast need a lift in here. They've almost got the first 2 clearances, but they have not been that effective. In the ruck now, Witts just drives himself straight into English. Now Gold Coast, Anderson can't get the handball effectively away. Bontempelli tries to break the tackle of Rao. Eventually gets off the handball of Liberatore. Now Dale goes out wide with a short little kick, and Ugle-Hagan's on the ball again. Takes the mark, immediately goes, finds Aaron Norton on the lead. Just outside the forward 50 here, the Bulldogs. Norton takes the mark, wheels around on the left boot, goes inside the forward pocket. Waitman almost should have marked that in the end, and he dropped it. So it just went out of bounds. Forward pocket here for the Bulldogs. They've started this game brilliantly. So the forward pocket. Bulldogs have definitely started off the better of the 2 teams. Witts in front, knocks it down. Coming through is McNeil. He can't get rid of it. Gets tackled well by Andrew, and it'll be a ball up. So the ruck now, Witts gets out the handball nicely. Swallow. Jams it on the boot, but it's a poor kick. Oh, touched play on Zakul Williams. Spins out of trouble. Eventually gets on the right boot. Can he kick another one here for the Bulldogs? Crowd goes up, and so does he. Bulldogs have their third. Sending a real statement early to the SUNS. The Bulldogs look so dangerous going inside forward 50. And a kick from about 45 there from Williams. Great kick. They lead 3-1-19 to the Gold Coast. Yet to score and basically yet to get inside the forward 50. I don't think they've even been in there yet. At the moment, no, they have had 2 inside forward 50s, but the Bulldogs have had 4 inside 50s. All of them have turned into scores. And right now, the player who's on Jamara Ugelhagen needs to put an absolute lock on him because he is on fire. But great finish there from Bailey Williams to shrug the tackle off and kick a nice goal there from about 40 metres out. Bulldogs are on fire. Back in the middle again. The Gold Coast have had the first 3 touches out of the middle, but all of them have been stopped by the Bulldogs. Here comes Bailey Smith coming through the stoppage. Look very nice. Puts it on the left boot. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Going back was Andrew. Can't bring it with him. Long. Jams it on the boot just to get it out of the congestion. Coming through is nice. There was English. Spores it towards the boundary line. Fiorini will take it out of bounds. This is Stuart Dew. Looking very concerned early. Had a lot of talk about him this week, obviously, with Dimmer Hardwick deciding to leave Richmond. And a lot of talk has been directed towards him losing his job and Damien Hardwick going up to the Gold Coast. Has not started very well here, the Gold Coast, at the moment. The Bulldogs started off brilliantly. How you doing, Ed? What's your name? My name's Dylan, man. What are you up to tonight, watching the Bulldogs? Started off very well, they have, actually. Back in the ruck, Witz knocks it down. Coming through there was Davies. Can't get rid of it. It causes a turnover here for the Bulldogs. Now they're away. Williams off to lob. Turns Andrew inside out and puts a check side kick inside the forward pocket. Going back with the flight was Collins, but he dropped it and fumbles out of bounds. The Gold Coast look very tentative at the moment. They're just under so much pressure early in this game. The Bulldogs have started this game off absolutely brilliantly. Obviously, coming out of the cold of Ballarat, they love the warmth up at Darwin at the moment. How you going, catching pasta? What are you up to tonight? Back in the ruck now. Witz knocks it down. Coming through his route. Dropped it, though. Daniel jams it on the boot for another one for the Bulldogs. Just goes across the face. It just goes out of bounds. So it'll be another stoppage inside the forward 50 here for the Bulldogs. Yeah, missed the Melbourne and Geelong games, but that was okay. Oh, they were good games, though, man. Well, can't believe Fremantle caused, well, all upsets on Saturday, really. Well, pretty much all upsets across the round so far. Witz knocks it down. Immediately met by 2 Bulldog players. There was Matt Rao. Another stoppage. Freo were brilliant. Witz knocks it down. Coming through was Davies. Gets tackled by Bontempelli, but he does get it on the boot. Towards the forward 50. Up goes O'Donnell. Can't bring it down with him. Now Dale jams it on the boot towards goal, and it just goes through for a behind. I've tipped the Crows tomorrow, actually, man, so I think they're a real chance, to be honest. But the Brisbane Lions are in very good form. Maybe I'm just not giving them enough credit. But I think with Taylor Walker back, they're a real chance. So the Bulldogs on the outer side cause the turnover. Where are you based? I live in Adelaide, even though I barrack for Sydney, which is kind of strange. But anyway. Now inside the forward 50 of the Bulldogs. Long. Just leaves it on the ground trying to pick it up. Eventually does gather it. The handball outside is not to real effect. Ugelhagen just fumbles it out of bounds and it'll be a throw in. Yeah, I'm a supporter of Sydney, man. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, Sydney. Which is weird, because I come from South Australia, and I've lived here all my life, but, yeah. If you're a Bulldogs fan, you had the wood over us. Oh, nice catching pasta. You go for the Crows, I'm assuming. Out of the stoppage now, Bailey Smith does nicely, shrugs one tackle, handballs it over the top, trying to find Bontempelli, runs onto it. Powell just causes him to knock that one out of bounds. A lot of stoppages early, in the past few minutes. Bulldogs just locking it inside their forward end. I'll probably actually stream the Crows game tomorrow, actually, because that looks like a big game. Crows versus Brisbane. Last game in the round. Back into the ruck. Witt's probably got the tap down. Davies does nicely, but it turns into trouble. Does well there. Jones probably got a high one there from Swallow. Umpire calls play on. Rao just kicks it out of the defensive 50. Gets out the back. Now Holman running towards the ball. It will skittle towards the boundary line, and Holman's happy to see it out. I'm from Sydney, Swan supporter, but I have a soft spot for the Bulldogs. Oh, okay, fair enough, man. Probably should go for a kick there, Swallow, actually, in the back. It wasn't actually high. He just grabbed him from the back of the collar. So back in the ruck again. A lot of stoppages early. Witz gets the tap down. Daniel does brilliantly. Gets out the handball out the back. Williams feigns the kick forward. Backs back. Then kicks it long. Up goes Norton. Can't bring it down. Eventually gets onto the ground and thumps it forward. Waitman will get there first. Will he get a foot on the ball? He does, but the ball just skittles out of bounds. Just couldn't get an effective kick on that one there, Waitman, and it goes in the forward pocket here for the Bulldogs. Again, they're just locking it inside their forward 50 at the moment. A lot of fans at TIO Stadium tonight. Seeing a pretty big clash between both these clubs. Gold Coast, a lot of talk about them this season. The free kick's been called out of the ruck, and a free kick will be going to Aaron Norton, it looks like. Unknown what that was for. So, the free kick was given to Aaron Norton out of the ruck contest, it seems. Still trying to find out what it was for. So, Aaron Norton being held on the outside. Oh, jeez. What is that for? I don't even know what that was for, because it doesn't look like there was much in it, but Aaron Norton comes towards goal, and maybe the footy gods are watching tonight because he's missed that completely. Left it out to the left-hand side. He's kicked it on the full. Arrow, be quiet. So coming out of the back there was Collins. Great kick, finds Long. Gold Coast have to get some movement going here. It's a dangerous kick, but eventually gets to Ainsworth. Ainsworth picks up the football on defensive 50 and goes long. It's a great kick going forward. Berry just left the ball behind here against Duray, but eventually gets back in front. Tom Berry to get a start going for the Gold Coast. Kicks it inside. Great find. And finds Ben King just the top of the goal square. Great play there from Tom Berry. Played brilliantly there. He looked like he lost his spot at the Brisbane Lions. Decided to move across town, moving to the Gold Coast Suns in the off-season. Found it a little bit hard to get himself in the team, but it was sub last week. Got a full 22 spot this week. And a great little play there to pull himself in front of Duray. Find Ben King, who comes in and kicks the Gold Coast Suns first of the night. Just to settle the nerves of the Suns. Weller isn't playing. No, he's not playing tonight. I think he's still injured. I was looking before at the team sheet in the VFL for the Gold Coast. They've got a lot of players in there that surprisingly are not in the team. Brendan Ellis was one. Sam Day, kind of. Who else was there? I say there was a lot, and I couldn't name two. Sorry. But there were a few in there. I was looking on the Footy Live app, and a lot of Gold Coast players sitting in the reserves, which is probably good to see if they can't make it into the regular team, especially a player like Brendan Ellis. He's a very good player. The Sydney Swans can't even field a team in the VFL half the time, really. They've lost all their 8 games this season. Still think they're a bit petty to let Tom Lynch go. Yeah, but he was never going to stay, was he? He was probably going to go to free agency if they didn't get anything for him. So the Bulldogs get it forward. McRae does nicely. Gives it up to Bontempelli. He kicks it inside the forward 50. McNeil just gets out the back. And great play out the back there from Joel Jeffrey takes the mark. Playing in the back half, it seems, tonight. Goes in short. Finds McPherson at the top of the defensive goal square. Looks like they're going to switch the play. The goal goes. It's a dangerous kick, though. And Roy Lobb cuts that off. Punches it out of bounds. And they lock it inside the forward 50 once again in the Bulldogs. So the Gold Coast have settled. So it's not too much out of the equation. They're only down by 14 points at the moment. King for the lobster action. He's done okay so far. So back in the ruck now. Lob and Casbolt contest. Lob probably knocks that one down. Bontempelli overruns it. Cleared out of the stoppage there was Humphrey. King and one-on-one can't bring it down. Great tackle there from Holman on Richards. It'll be another ball up. Ed Richards been in very good form at halfback for the Bulldogs this year. He's actually been able to let Caleb Daniel go into the middle of the ground. Great little tap down there from Lob. Arthur Jones left the ball behind. Now Humphrey may have actually dove on that. Eventually got rid of it. Powell just kicks it down towards the centre wing. And eventually Lukosius sees it out. The umpire's running towards it. And he pays deliberate. How can you pay deliberate? Lukosius was right there. That's ridiculous. Free kick to the Bulldogs on the wing at the moment. Free kick will go to Gardner. He goes in short. And he finds Ed Richards. Half back here for the Bulldogs. Eventually kicks it on the boot with a nice little lead there from Hugh Hagan, but got left in his wake. And Andrew cuts it off here for the Gold Coast. Went to go give the handball. Eventually drives it long towards the forward 50. And free Lukosius. Probably should have marked it in the end. Good play there from Jones. Gets on the ground there. Berry leaves it behind. Richards tries to give it over the top. Atkins cuts it off nicely. Anderson, great little inside handball. Swallow kicks towards the top of the goal square, but it's all Bulldogs, and Jax McRae takes the mark. Final score prediction, 90 to 60 Bulldogs. So now the Bulldogs are away here. McNeil takes the mark, goes out long, great kick, finds Bontempelli. They're 80 out from goal here, the Bond. He's played on though. Collins puts a lot of pressure on the mark, but eventually gets the kick towards Waitman, but it goes out of bounds on the full. Who's your favourite player? Ooh. Probably Tom Papley. I know, I do like the way he celebrates when he kicks a goal, but I mean, that's obviously... a lot of people would hate him for that same reason. So Witts out the back, takes the ball, kicks it down towards Roses, who takes the mark. Plays on, though, with no real plan. Eventually cuts the kick in. Not a very good option. Cut off there by O'Donnell. And now he gets the 1-2 from Daniel. Again, gets out the handball. May get the 1-2-3. McRae eventually kicks it out wide. Finds Bontempelli on the bounce. Picks it up nicely. And they go through the middle of the Bulldogs. It's a poor kick, though. McPherson drops it, though. McNeil, great pressure. Picks it up. Gets at the handball. Lob leaves it behind. Now Hasbolt jams it on the boot. Kicks it towards the forward 50. Up goes McRae. Almost took it, and then Bontempelli probably beat him to it. Humphrey on the ground, thumps it towards the top of the goal square. Roses will get there, goes to the forward pocket, and Jones happy to see it out of bounds. Best defender at the moment. Best defender. I mean, Darcy Moore's been very, very good this year. Alex Pearce for free. I think he's been brilliant. Last night, Nick Blake, he was very good. Probably not the best of the year. Goal goes out of the stoppage here, and David Swallow kicks the goal. Great finish for the Gold Coast, and they get their second. Only 8 points to difference now at TIO Stadium. Gold Coast really settling into this game nicely. Best midfielder. Best midfielder and then best forward. Best forward, Charles. I think you said Jeremy Cameron, even though Charlie Curnow's kicked more. Oh, you know what? I think it is Charlie Curnow. I think just Carlton's midfield's been woeful this year, going inside their forward 50. The best midfielder, probably, maybe Christian Petrarca. Although in the last month, I would say Zach Butters. He's been brilliant for Port Adelaide in the last month. But that's just me. Anyway, I could be completely wrong. Great start. Great comeback here from the Gold Coast early in this first quarter. Bulldogs started off brilliantly, but for the past 5-10 minutes, the Gold Coast done it brilliantly. And out of the front of the stoppage, Anderson gives it out to Humphrey. And now, Rao kicks it inside the forward 50. Great kick. Can't bring it down, though, Casbolt. Across the stoppage there nicely was Ainsworth, who snaps towards goal. That's a brilliant goal there for the Suns. And they've got 3 on the trot. The Suns are on fire. Can you believe it? Ainsworth around the body. Great finish. And the Gold Coast just settle very nicely. And they've got the past 3. Currently leading this Wurzel getter on the ground is Bontempelli with the 6. But 5 is leading all comers is Bailey Humphrey for the Gold Coast Suns. He's done brilliantly so far. Had a very good game last week. Started his first few games of his career as the sub and was playing forward. But suddenly, Stuart Jew's seen a lot of potential for this guy. And he was very good in that contest there. Gave it out to Rowley, got it forward. And the Gold Coast, Ainsworth just came across that little play there and snapped a very nice goal. Yeah, at the moment, this could be a very close game. Maybe I was wrong. I do think the Bulldogs will win this game, but it's a very good little moment here for the Gold Coast. English in the ruck knocks it down. Rowell getting the football. Breaks the tackle of one. Probably got a high one there from Arthur Jones. Play on. Now Joel Jeffrey off the half-back. Goes towards the forward 50. King goes up. Can't get there. Berry does nicely on the ground. Coming through is Duray. Gets at the handball. Now O'Brien with a nice little worm burner kick. And finds Tim English. So the Bulldogs just looking to settle the game down a little bit here. English on the defensive side of the wing takes the mark. So now English eventually told to move on. Goes down the wing. It looks a bit wide. Is that out on the full? Umpire calls for a boundary throw-in. Pharaoh, come on. If you want, I'll let you out in a minute, but it's going to be cold. Who's your top 8 this year? Whew. At the moment, Bulldogs, Port. This isn't an order. Bulldogs, Port, Melbourne, Collingwood, Brisbane. They're the certainties, I would say. I think. Yeah, that'd be my... Oh, yeah. I'll say Geelong, but I don't know if they're going to be very good. I don't know if they'll make it very high. Freo, I would say, is probably that 7th. Goal there for Bailey Smith. Great finish there for the Bulldogs. They get one back. Bailey Smith. Bailey Smith scores. And that last team, I'd say that's probably 7. And then the last team will either be St Kilda, Essendon, Crows, or Sydney. If I had to pick one now, I think the Crows. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because they will win their game. They will win most of their games at Adelaide Oval. I think Sydney has got a little bit too many. I don't think they're playing well enough. 1 and 2, their injuries are gonna. They may get a couple of them back. Hang on, if we have a look, I'll say Collingwood make it, Brisbane make it, Port make it, Melbourne make it, Bulldogs make it, Freo make it, Geelong will make it, and then it will be St Kilda, Adelaide, Essendon, or Sydney for that final spot. I'm going to go the Crows because I think the Crows will have more wins at home. That's my 8, man. So back in the stoppage now. Witts knocks it down. Coming through was Real. Left it behind, though. Liberatore does very nicely with a nice little handball out the back. Now McRae has the football. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Coming up nicely there with Charlie Ballard. If this guy was in Victoria right now, he'd be talked about around the whole competition. He's been in some brilliant form, Ballard. Cuts off that one nicely. Goes back to Jeffrey. He goes in short. Nice little kick. And he finds Fiorini. So 6 minutes to go in this first term. Bulldogs by 8 points. Fiorini has the football. Goes long. Casbolt leads up nicely. Well on there from Jones to cut it off. Eventually got the ball though, Casbolt. Handballs it to no one in particular. McPherson coming through, can't grab it. Now Fiorini tried to soccer it off the ground, but eventually just handballed it. Thump down there from O'Brien. Down to Bailey Smith. He gets out the handball, only as far as Swallow. Jams it on the boot, goes up with a high one. Ainsworth in a one-on-one does nicely. Witts grabbed it nicely. Great tackle there from McRae. Should be gone and does. Great tackle there from McRae. Who gets the wooden spoon? West Coast. That's not one to think about. West Coast get it. So McRae gets the free kick. Goes in short to Liberatore, finds him. There wasn't 15, play on to the call. McRae gets the handball back and eventually goes out wide. Good kick. He finds O'Brien. So it looks like they're going to go through the move here, the Bulldogs. O'Donnell goes with a long kick to Duray. Great little spoil there from Collins. Doesn't get it out though, so Baker keeps it in. Duray tackled well there from Matt Rao. Rides him, puts the saddle on and gets him taken out of bounds. 25 minutes gone in this first term. Still 5 minutes to go though, so it's going to be a long first quarter. Umpire lobs it in once again. Which club is going to have the breakout season? This season so far, I think Essendon, to be honest. I mean, I know St Kilda have gone up, but Essendon had so many injuries at the start of the season. Free kick, we've got Aaron Norton inside the forward 50. I think, even though you can say again, St Kilda have had more injuries as well. But I think that Essendon have had a lot of injuries to a lot more key players. Because, I mean, Peter Wright kicked 50-plus goals last year. He hasn't been in the team and they're still winning games. Who else? They've obviously had a lot of injuries to their midfield. Parrish has been out. I think Dylan Shields still out. Their defence is very small, and they did get caught out in a couple of games this year, but they've also been brilliant in a couple of games as well. Aaron Norton comes in, kicks towards goal, and he's missed. Poor miss there from Aaron Norton. Should have really kicked that. So Aaron Norton plays for the free kick, got it. So out of the defensive goal square is Joel Jeffrey. Goes long down the wing up. Goes Andrew. Almost dragged it down with one hand. Eventually picks it up. And a free kick here is going to be going to the Bulldogs again. Being favoured by the free kicks early in this one. O'Donnell will get the free kick. Doesn't have too many options to go to. They've had 6 free kicks so far, the Bulldogs. Gold goes yet to get one. So he goes long into the forward pocket. Jeffrey goes up, leaves it behind though. Eventually rolls out of bounds. And it'll be another forward stoppage. Which team dominates most at away games? I'm not too sure. Probably Collingwood because they don't get many. So inside the forward pocket here. Witts knocks it down. Coming through there was Williams. Bontempelli couldn't bring it with him. Atkins goes over the ball, leaves it behind. Now Bontempelli eventually picks it up again. Spills out to Anderson, who just kicks it away and he's kicked it on the full. So the Bulldogs bring us back here through Duray. Who's going to be Rookie of the Year? Rising star, probably Sheasel at this rate. I think Ashcroft's definitely came along. But against in a far lesser side, he's done very well. Jamarra Ugle-Hagan couldn't bring it with him. Scott comes through, gets tackled well there from Anderson. It'll be another ball up. Another stoppage inside the forward 50 here. 3.5 minutes to go in this first term. Umpire throws it up once again. Lob taps it out the back. Coming through, Liberatore couldn't bring it with him. Baker gets at the handball. Coming through was Daniel. Great little hands there out to McRae. Bontempelli left behind. That little fumble may cost him, and he just gets it on the boot and it rolls out of bounds inside the forward pocket. Bontempelli has started this game off brilliantly for the Bulldogs. Probably been best on ground to this stage of the game so far. Currently, the other game, Bombers lead 19-1. So that one's probably going to be an absolute 100-pointer. Yeah, Bontempelli's coming in at 8 touches, 4 tackles, been brilliant so far. Back in the ruck once again. Witts couldn't bring it down. English is coming through. Fiorini gets tackled well there from Baker. Be another ball up. Back in the ruck, Lob and Witts go at it. Comes down there for the Bulldogs. Waitman trying to get the free kick, then throws himself forward, trying to get it in the back. Free kick, didn't get it. Umpire is actually going to pin him here. No, it'll be a ball up. Umpire was about to play holding the ball, but eventually the ball got out. So again, another stoppage inside the forward 50. Lob goes down, can't bring it with him. Anderson breaks out of there somehow, gets to the kick away. It spills off a player. Ainsworth, nice little tap through the legs. Actually got the ball back there from Davies. Nice handball off to Andrew. Didn't really think about the kick. Goes long. Roses just left it behind, but gets it back on the counter. And now Roses can run it forward. He's going to get taken down. Eventually got the handball off. Lukosius doesn't have too many options. Gets Ainsworth out on the wing. Eventually picks it up off the bounce. Now Ainsworth. About 70 out from goal. Doesn't have too many options, so he just drives it to the top of the goal square. Up goes Casbolt. Can't bring it down. O'Brien tackled well there from Casbolt. Coming through there was Holman. Couldn't bring it with him. Fiorini from the pocket. Snaps towards the top of the goal square. Great little mark there from Baker to cut it off. And the Bulldogs survive. So 2 minutes to go in this first term. Baker takes the mark. Goes short across goal. Finds Gardner. He plays on. They're going towards the commentary side wing here, the Bulldogs. He goes long with a nice kick. Andrew can't cut it off, and then the Bulldogs can go. Scott off to Bontempelli. Kicks it long. Should take the mark here. Ugle-Hagan and does. He has a couple of players leading back towards the goal square. Lob leads up nicely. The kick's not the best. Gets to his toes. Can't bring it with him. McPherson does nicely. Now Collins kicks it out towards the wing. That's a poor option though. Williams will cut it off. What club do you think has the easiest fixture? I haven't really looked at the fixture too much for the rest of the season, to be honest. So Norton just puts it on the boot, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Up goes Ugle-Hagan, just gets out of his hands. McRae does nicely, taps out to Waitman. Plays for the free, doesn't get it. Out through the legs of Lob, left it behind. Now Witts, out to Fiorini. And he puts it on his boot, long, high kick. Norton should cut this off, doesn't actually get to it. And somehow gets out to King, somehow. He puts it on the boot and kicks it about 50 metres to no one in particular. Gardner will get back first, got an awkward bounce. Now taps it away there, Gardner. Duray gets tackled well from Swallow. Gets at the handball, though. And now the Gold Coast can counter. Berry gets the football. Hits the ground, though. Trips over on the wet deck. And now gives it back to Lukosius. Goes long to a 2-on-1 in the Gold Coast. Up goes King. All on his own. And despite the rough start for the Gold Coast, a chance here to bring it back to 3 points. Gold Coast have kicked 3 of the past 4 goals. Great play there from the Gold Coast. Just were happy to surge this ball forward. There wasn't too much method in this, but it eventually got it forward, and King got out the back, took the mark. Great body work from, I think it was Casbolt against Jones, just to let King take an easy mark. But a chance now for Ben King to kick his second. He comes in, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, hooks it to the left-hand side. It's their first blemish of the game here for the Suns. 15 seconds to go in this first term. How you doing, Stuart? So now Ballard with the football. Last chance here for the Gold Coast in the first quarter. Holman takes the mark. And a chance here for Nick Holman. The absolute ragged dog inside the forward 50 for the Suns. Always fighting. Takes a great mark here. And a chance here for the Gold Coast to get their fourth. They had to absorb a lot early in this game, the Gold Coast. And a chance here on his 100th game, Nick Holman. Definitely been a stalwart of the Suns. Came in through the draft, was I think in 2018. Played for the Central Districts back in the Sandful. Then got his lifeline at the Gold Coast Suns. A chance here to kick their fourth. Comes in towards goal. Kicks. Umpire does not move. The Suns taking the momentum going into quarter time. Great finish from Nick Holman. And the teammates get to him. Great to see. Great finish from Nick Holman. And at quarter time, the scores are 4-1-25 to the Suns. Down by 2. Bulldogs have 4-3-27. Oh, shit, that's the wrong button. What am I trying to do here? Turn off the time, that's it. How you doing? The O Show? What are you up to tonight, mate? Alright, I'll just bring up the statistics now, guys. Actually, what's the score in the other game? And at quarter time, guys, sorry, not at quarter time. In the other game right now, West Coast are 13, Essendon are 19. Still about 10 minutes to go in the first quarter in that one. Toyota. Alright, I'm just going to bring up the statistics now, guys. Then we should be into the second quarter pretty soon after that. Pharaoh, it's okay. Alright. So, guys, at quarter time, leading disposal getters on the ground. Marcus Bontempelli with the 9 touches, been best on ground so far. Jack McRae with the 8 touches, always able to accumulate. Then Noah Anderson with the 7 leads, all comers for the Gold Coast Suns. Jeremiah Ugle-Hagan with the 6, along with Bailey Dale, takes out the top 5. And then for the AFL Fantasy Watchers out there, we have Marcus Bontempelli with the 48. Ugle-Hagan with the 41. 32 to Jack McRae. 28 to David Swallow, and then Mac Andrew has 27 for the Gold Coast Suns, rounds out the top 5. Do you give the Suns a chance? I do. I haven't tipped. My brother tipped them for the game tonight because of the Bulldogs having to go from the cold, wet conditions, not wet conditions, the cold conditions down at Ballarat to then going up to the 27-degree night up in Darwin. So he's tipped them. I give them a chance, but not. The Bulldogs are playing a little bit better at the moment. So, yeah, I've tipped the Bulldogs, personally. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, Stuart. So, yeah, in the other game right now, just trying to bring up the fixture. I think it's still the same score. Oh, no. The Bombers just kicked a goal. Who was laid out? Oh, Phillips was laid out, so Nick Bryan came in. Okay. Fair enough. Draper's already kicked a goal. Oscar Allen's kicked 2. He's their best player, let's be real. Oscar Allen's is by far their best player. He'd probably be in All-Australian form if he wasn't playing for them. Who do you barrack for? I go for Sydney. I should really have more Sydney stuff in here. But I don't have much Sydney stuff in here. I'm still trying to sort this out. I got so much garbage in the... Not garbage, just stuff I don't have anywhere for storage. You probably can't even see it. Yeah, I've kind of placed the Bulldogs emblem in a right spot there. But you can kind of see it through the back there if I lean back a little bit. Great win last night. Yeah, we played well, I think. I think the Bulldogs played terrible football. They just don't have any sort of forward structure going forward. And sorry, not well, not even that. It's just Mackay. I mean, he missed 3 shots at goal. That was terrible. They kicked 6 goal 15. But yeah, some of their going forward, they had no method. They just bomb it up towards the tall guys, and it could have worked against Sydney, but Sydney actually played really well. The inclusion of Lewis Melican was big for Sydney. And I think they'll get Dane Rampy back hopefully by after the bye, which is next week. So I hope so, because we do need him back. I don't think we'll get Tom McCartan back, which is a little bit frustrating for Swans fans. But you know, his health, his head knock health, is obviously a lot more important than playing football. Pharaoh, it's okay. Sorry, it's my dog. You're back, Swans man. Good to see. Do you think Voss will keep his job? Ugh. I do. Just for now. But if it continues like this, no. He'll lose his job at the end of the season. But if they can just get some wins on the board, I think if they just miss finals, he may be safe. But if they miss finals by a lot, then I think he's gone. I still think it's ridiculous for them not to say they can't make... finals isn't a big deal. They have to make finals, the Carlton. Their fans deserve to see finals. Their list deserves to see finals. But they're not playing well enough. So the second quarter is now underway at TIO Stadium. 2-point lead to the Bulldogs at quarter time. English knocks it down, coming through as Liberatore. Good tackle there from Humphrey. Just spills out there to Smith. He gets out the handball to Bontempelli, who had a brilliant first quarter. Spins out of trouble, still spinning around. Then puts it on the right boot. Not very good with that one. Just goes a little bit of a dinky kick up in the air, and the Gold Coast calls the turnover. Anderson gives it off to Humphrey, who's immediately under pressure. Goes back to Bontempelli. He goes out wide. That's a poor kick there from the Bont. And it's just out of bounds. So, true centre wing on the broadcast side. Be another stoppage. Bontempelli did brilliantly to get out of this tackle there from, it was Ainsworth. But then could not kick it on the right foot. I think if they lose the next 2 games, Voss will get sacked. Yeah, I mean, you could be right. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sacked. I just don't think I don't think they're that strong enough to do it. So Bontempelli turns around on the right boot this time. That's a better kick. Gets spoiled, though. Spills out to Norton. He gives it out to Waitman, who leaves it behind. He's got Bailey Smith on the left-hand side there. Couldn't get it out to him. And spills out now to Powell. He jams it on the boot and somehow, luckily, gets to Tom Berry. Takes the mark. The Bond is such a sick nickname. Yeah, it is, man. So Berry runs down the wing. Has some space. Goes long. Out the back, Davies. Couldn't grab it with the one hand. Gets out the back to Richards. Good tackle there from Holman. Gets the kick away. Almost gets out of the hands of Witts, but he gathers it. Good tackle there from Rory Lobb, and he just gets taken to the boundary line. About 60 out from the goal here from the Gold Coast Suns. Bulldogs kicked the first 3 goals of this game. Gold Coast then kicked the next 3, and since then, goal to each side. Gives them a 2-point lead at the moment, the Bulldogs. So back in the ruck now. English knocks it down, comes straight through to Daniel. Has heaps of space to work into. Doesn't really have many options. It actually takes a bounce. Then kicks it out towards the wing. Great kick. Finds English. You think Gold Coast by 10 points? Could be. I think it could be a close one, actually, looking at it now. And earlier I said about a 30-point win of the Bulldogs. But Gold Coast look okay at the moment. Goes in short. He finds Caleb Daniel. Called play on. Wasn't 15, so he just goes out the back. Nice kick. He finds Gardner. Gardner looks like they're going to switch the play of the Bulldogs. It's a nice kick. It's a long 50-metre kick to O'Donnell. He goes in short, finds Richards. Do you watch Riles Macker? No, I don't actually very well. I've seen a few of his stuff, I think. So English takes the ball in the middle of the ground, works it out wide. Good kick, finds Jamara Ugle-Hagan on the lead. He's been brilliant early. Moves around on the left boot. Oh, nice little dart, but cut off well there from Anderson. So now the Gold Coast can switch it. Goes to Andrew. He's had a good start to this game, Mac Andrew. So no one takes the mark, so he just plays on. Goes long out towards the wing. Casbolt can't bring it down. In the front there does nicely Humphrey. He drives it along to a one-on-one. Jones does nicely to push King under it. Coming through there's Lukosius. Just couldn't get the ball. Keep it inside, so it gets smacked out of bounds. I don't actually watch a lot of AFL content, really, on YouTube. But I do watch a bit of it, because I think it's actually growing a lot on YouTube recently. Which I think is good to see. So back in the stoppage, 50 metres out from the Gold Coast goal. Witts knocks it down just past Humphrey. Rao somehow gets the hands free. Does nicely to Witts. Humphrey gets the football now. Jams it towards the top of the goal square. One-on-one King. Gets out the back. Lukosius will get there first. Sockers at home. Gold Coast get there fifth. First of the second term. Jack Lukosius does brilliantly on the ground to soccer that one through. And what a goal there for the Suns. Bailey Humphrey for the Gold Coast has started brilliantly in the middle. And in that stoppage did brilliantly there. Goal to the Gold Coast. Great finish. Good call from the O-Show in the chat. Calls for the great goal. Great finish. I watched the documentary AFL thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do watch things, what's his name? He made the one... The one about the one... what's his name? Oh, that's gonna annoy me now. What's his name? He does it in the AFL stuff. Richmond... Or was it Richmond? That's not going to come up with anything, is it? Nah, it wasn't. Damn it, that's not it. So back at the stoppage. Free kick will go to the Bulldogs from the stoppage. English gets the free kick. Had a lot of free kicks early in this game. Gives a handball across to Dale, who kicks it inside the forward 50. Jamari Ugle-Hagan probably should have marked it in the end. Drops out the front of it there. Lob. Gives out to Bontempelli. Just handballs it forward. Coming through was Ugle-Hagan. Couldn't bring it with him. Does well there, Collins, to worry him out of it. Eventually gets to the ball and just kicks it out on the full, unfortunately for him. So, Bulldogs get the ball back here. So, Dre has the football. You're watching the game with my commentary? Oh, good call, good call. Dre drives it long towards the forward pocket. Up goes Lob from 4 deep! He's trying to claim it. Who's taking the mark here? Witts, Ugle-Hagan, and Lob are claiming it. And Lob has won the lottery. He's taken the mark. I think he got first hands onto it. Lob for about 3 deep. Yeah, you'd say Lob's taken that mark. Good decision from the umpire. So Lob will take the mark. Witts wasn't arguing too much. He probably conceded in the end. But now a chance here for Rory Lob to kick his first of the night. Had a pretty decent start to the game. Kicks towards goal. He's left it out to the right. That's a terrible kick for a key forward. And he's hit the point post. Terrible kick. It shatters the point post. So Gold Coast go quickly. Good kick finds Ainsworth. So it's a half back here. Still in the defensive 50 of the Gold Coast. Doesn't have too many options to go to. So eventually moves around, goes long towards the wing. Pack of players go up. Jones from 3 deep, thumps it forward. Only as far as Anderson, gives out the handball. Now the Gold Coast can go. Davies goes in the middle of the ground. Great kick, finds Lukosius. Always a good ball user, Lukosius. Goes long inside the forward 50. King and a one. Casbolt one-on-one. Should have got the free kick. Play on. Off the ground, Casbolt! Like a striker, hits the post. Levi Casbolt. We're a good 25 metres out. Almost sockered that one home. Just missed in the end. Hit the post. Left the post shaking. So now the Bulldogs can come through. McNeil takes the mark at half back. As a leading Bontempelli decides not to go there. That would have been great. That would have been a contender. I don't think it would have been goal of the year, but it would have been a contender. McNeil goes long to a pack of players. Collins from across the side couldn't bring it with him. Gets it on the ground though, gets the handball away. Scott gathers it, gives it out to Bontempelli, been brilliant in this game. Out to Lob, and now McRae has an option to go inside the forward 50 with the leading Ugle-Hagan coming across there nicely with Ballard. Put the ball on got the ball to boot somehow. Now Humphrey takes the mark. He goes long out wide. It's a great option. Ainsworth has another opportunity now to go forward. Just calls up for King to lead to him, and King eventually does. The kick is poor, though, and Jones cuts it off. The commentary is underrated. I appreciate it, man. So now Jones goes out wide. It's going to hold the line just, and Dre takes the mark. I always wanted to be an AFL commentator, actually. Dre goes in short, finds Smith. Good find. So Smith on the defensive side of the wing on the outer side. Looks like the Bulldogs just going to play a little bit more slow footy here. Goes in short, finds Baker. fact, it's Richards. Plays on. Just runs past the player on the mark and goes long towards the forward 50. Jamari Ugle-Hagan can't grab it. Gets out the back of him. Ballard cuts it off. Played brilliantly this year, Charlie Ballard. He's been one of the best defenders of the year. Ed was asking that earlier. I think he's been one of the most best defenders of the year so far. Ballard puts it on the boot. The kick's not the best. It's an absolute tumble punt. Can't get it out there. Eventually just thump forward and Dale finds it. Williams and then Richards puts it on the opposite right foot. Going out in the flight! Humphrey, cool play on. He should have just been given the reward for the great courage. He eventually gets the kick away there and goes to Ainsworth. Being good in this game so far, Ainsworth. Goes to Berry. Yeah, I actually wanted to be an AFL commentator. But I actually looked into it a little bit, but you had to go through like AFL journalism. I didn't want to do that. So I thought, fuck it, we'll start a YouTube channel. Anyway, Anderson, nice handball. Finds Swallow and Ainsworth. Snaps towards goal. In the goal square. Lukosius drops it. Puts it on the boot. And the Suns have started this second quarter brilliantly. Lukosius kicks his second. And the Gold Coast have their 6th goal of the game. The Gold Coast putting on a lot of pressure at the moment. And the Bulldogs finding a little bit of trouble at the moment in this one. Suns playing brilliantly. Good call, Osho. Currently the other game as well. Quarter time, Essendon lead 4-1, 25 to Sioux 3, 15 to the West Coast Eagles. Great work there from the Gold Coast. We know Ainsworth was 100% going for that goal, but the coach just had to take the mark. Would have been touched by O'Brien. But a good goal there from the Suns. They take an 11-point lead. Only 2 goals of the second term so far. Still 13 to go in it. Umpire thumps it down back in the middle of the ground. Witts, actually English probably got that tap. Only as far as Swallow. Jams it on the boot. Going forward. Ed Richards back at the fly. Couldn't bring it with him. Gardner just socks it off the ground. Goes as far as Baker. Gets tackled well there from Fiorini. Gets at the handball eventually. Berry does nicely to keep it in front of him. Probably got tackled without it. And doesn't get the free though. Gold Coast, get it out, but then Gardner thumps it forward, a nice fist. McRae, nice handball. Gives it out to Bailey Smith and now Arthur Jones on the wing. Has some space to run into. Powell chases him down, but it's a good kick going forward there from Arthur Jones. Can't bring it down with him, Norton. Tries to get back onto it. Jones worked back nicely, but then Powell gives it out to Anderson, who kicks it down the wing. Goes out the back. Daniel has some time to get it. Good tackle there from Casbolt. Daniel probably should be pinned for that, but umpire gives him a reprieve. So on the centre wing now on the outer side. Witts thumps it forward. Fiorini should get there first if he gets a nice bounce. He does nicely. Shakes off Baker. Does nicely. Kicks it inside the forward 50 to a leading... Hang on, free kick's been called here. What was that for? What, running too far? Was that what it was for? Does anyone know what that... They've got 8 free kicks so far. The Gold Coast haven't even got 1. Fucking hell. Anyway. Witt's going back with the fly. Actually got out right out the back. McNeil takes the mark. Plays on. Goes long towards the forward 50. The kick's not very good. He gets out the back. Collins will get there first. Thumps it towards the boundary line. Actually, very smart play. And then Ugle-Hagan will take it over in the last line. And it'll be a stoppage inside the forward 50 here for the Bulldogs. I still don't know what that free kick was for. Anyway, inside the forward pocket if the Bulldogs have had a lot of these early, but really haven't taken a lot of advantage from them. Witts knocks it down. Coming through, there's Bailey Smith in the pocket. Great tackle there from Davies. Drags him to ground. Then didn't really give away a legal disposal. Now McPherson picks it up. Tackled by 2 dogs. Be another ball up. So umpire in the back in the ruck again. Witts all night's been in there. Great tank he's got. Taps it down. McRae. Basketball bounces it to himself. Eventually gets at the handball to Smith. Now Baker on the 50. Jams on the left boot. Going towards the top of the goal square. A great little mark there from Collins. Cuts it off. He goes out wide. The good kick finds Atkins. Been quiet so far, Rory Atkins. But he's had a pretty good year since he came into the side. So it looks like Atkins will switch the play. He's actually keeping Brendan Ellis out of this team. Goes across to Collins. Collins goes out wide. Not the best kick. Gets to, I think it was Anderson on the bounce. Gets it out wide. Oh, what on there from Ballard. Gives it out to McPherson, who breaks a pretty poor tackle there from Martha Jones. He kicks it high towards the middle of the ground. Casbolt can't bring it with him. Coming across there was Fiorini, but now McRae drags it in. Good play there from Witts to drag him down. A bit of the ball up. 11 minutes to go in this first half. My team giving a free kick away in 50. But it's Harry Mackay, me, and he'll snap and he'll miss, yeah. Free kick was running. It was running too far, was it? So touch play on. He kicks it towards the boundary line, but he'll be able to throw in. I didn't think he ran that far. But, okay, I guess he did. I guess. I don't think he did, but anyway. So another stoppage just outside the forward 50 here for the Bulldogs. Umpire thumps it in. Witts knocks it down. Coming through there is Daniel. Good tackle there from David Swallows. He started this game pretty well. Witts again knocks it down. Out the back, coming through with it again with Swallow. The veteran of the Gold Coast coming through. Couldn't bring it with him though. Now Daniel comes through very nicely. Gives it out to McRae. McRae over the top to Dale. Left it behind though. Joel Jeffrey wasn't hard enough over it. McNeil over to Jones. Gets it out to Bontempelli. Shakes off Davies. Shakes off another. That was Holman. Gets at the handball to O'Donnell. Now the Bulldogs have a little bit of time to reset. Great kick there from O'Brien. Left it behind though. Williams, that was poor. Atkins gets the handball away to Davies. Has some time. Great kick. Great little chop off there from Jones though. And now the Bulldogs can go. Richards off to Williams. And now Smith has the football. Goes long inside the forward 50. Cutting across there was Powell. Couldn't bring it with him. Great spoil there from behind there was Ballard. Now to Anderson. Eventually gets it out to Swallow. And he goes long on the wing. It's out to Casbolt. Run towards probably the boundary line will beat him. And it'll roll through for a boundary throw in. Real tight one at the moment. Still just under 10 minutes now in the first half. Witts has definitely held his own in the ruck so far as well against probably the best player, the best ruckman in the comp at the moment is English. Again, Witts knocks that one down, but Bontempelli, great pickup in these conditions. Kicks it long towards the forward 15. Trevor Ugle-Hagan almost on his own in the pocket takes the mark. He's been good in this one so far, Jamara. A great kick from Bontempelli to find him in the pocket. He's already kicked one. A chance here for his second. Bontempelli probably been best on ground to this point. Yeah, we got Hickey back yesterday. He was brilliant in that one too. Ugle-Hagan, poor kick going towards goal, and he's kicked it through for a behind. So Bulldogs yet to kick a goal in the second term. Gold Coast definitely had the better of it so far. Heaney was good last. Yeah, I think he was better in the midfield as well. I don't know if he's just a midfielder, but he definitely needs to go through there if he's having a poor game up forward. So now Powell kicking in here for the Gold Coast. Long kick. Jones from the back does nicely. Coming through there was Bailey Williams. Tackled to ground out of bounds there from Roy Atkins. Great play. Pharaoh, come on. I'll take you out at halftime, alright? Nick Blakey will get the 3 round. Oh yeah, definitely. I gave him the 3 votes in my thing on Instagram. Witts can't bring it with him. Williams tackled well there from Witts, though, to be another ball up. English knocks it down. Coming through there was Liberatore. Tackled well there from Swallow. Locked in the clinches at the moment, the Gold Coast. They may not be the first getting it every time, but they're definitely putting on a lot of pressure. Still 8.5 minutes to go in the second term. Witts knocks it down again. Liberatore, that's throw done instead of throw. Umpire doesn't call it again. Witts coming through. McNeil does nicely to knock out of Rao. Daniel gives it out to Dale. Now McRae gets back on the left boot. Kicks it towards the forward 50. Ugle-Hagan will get there first. Gets it out the back now. Norton can give it off to Jones. Jones running towards the goals. We just had to be clean and left it behind. Long. That's a dangerous handball going back. Absolutely blind handball. Liberatore tackled well from Anderson. Probably threw that one out. Didn't get rewarded. Long jams it on the boot, but it's going to be coming back. O'Donnell cuts it off. He takes the mark about 60 out from goal. Has a couple of options going into the pocket. Ugle-Hagan again on the lead. Takes a great mark. And he needs to start taking these opportunities, Jamara, because he's had an absolute brilliant start to this one. He's kicked 1 goal, 1 so far in this one, I believe. Just have a quick look at that. He's hit 1 goal, 1 so far. Just missed one just a little bit earlier. A little bit of a tougher angle this one. Hagen kicks towards goal. He's left it out to the left. Hasn't even scored. And it bounces past Casbolt, who completely misread it. And goes out of bounds. So inside the forward pocket. Has a little bit of a smirk on his face there, Jamara. Knows he hasn't kicked too well tonight so far. But he's definitely got a lot of the ball. He's been looking the most dangerous forward of the Bulldogs trio so far. Back in the ruck once again. Casbolt knocks it down, coming through again, left it behind. Powell gets the kick away, but that was definitely out of bounds. But we have the bye, so when we verse St Kilda, we'll have Rampy and McCartan. I think we'll have Rampy. I'm not so sure on McCartan, though. I'll be interested to see if McCartan gets back. I hope he does, because he's very important. But again, like I said a little bit earlier, more important about his health. I have to go to the bathroom so bad, but I don't know if I can hold it for 7.5 minutes. I may have to just go and leave it. I'll have to watch it on my phone. Cut off there for McNeil. Couldn't bring it with him. Holman gets the football. Gets the ball on the boot nicely. King. Now the Gold Coast can go forward. Holman, he threw that 100%. Doesn't get the free kick. You get paid him against him. Jones breaks the tackle of McPherson. Gives it out to Williams. And now Bailey Smith goes towards the top of the goal square. Coming across is Hugo Hagen. Can't bring it with him. In the pocket. Coming through there was Scott. And it'll be a no-out to throw in. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go to the bathroom. Just... If you're watching it, watch it. If you're not, just give me a minute. Don't crash anything, will you? Don't break anything, will you? Alright, go. Guess what? Jesus. Alright, did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Even if we did. You guys can keep me up to date. Only 7 minutes? Alright, cool. You commentate. I'll be back. So Caleb Daniel has it on the wing at the moment. Drives it towards the forward 50. Up across comes Lob. Can't bring it with him. Powell has the football eventually. Gets tackled well there from Liberatore. Sat on it a little bit. It'll be another ball up. No, the scores are still the same. Alright, we're fine. We're fine. Oh, my dog. Swear to God. Casbolt sockers it off the ground into Humphrey's head. Just ricochets out to Davies. And now Roses gets to the football. Kicks towards the wing. But Jones read that brilliantly. Great mark. So Jones drives it again back inside the forward 50, but Ballard reads it nicely, thumps it away with a two-fister. Great tackle there from Daniel on Humphreys, and be another ball up. 5 minutes to go in this first half. Gold Coast lead it by 10, the only 2 goals for this second term. Liam Jones had a brilliant year in the Bulldogs, coming back from the COVID. Didn't want to get vaccinated, but eventually decided if he wanted to have the rest of his AFL career, he had to. But now Richards does nicely. Feints the handball. Eventually gets on the boot. Now kicks it forward. Couldn't bring it with him. Norton. Now Ballard. Gets some time. Gives it to Jeffrey. He didn't have much more time. He just jammed it on the boot. Kicks it on the outer wing. The bounce is poor there for Baker. Coming through is Fiorini, who just let it runs out of bounds. It'll be a stoppage just outside. Just down the outer wing. Almost get dragged out of it there. Casbolt was looking for the free kick. Didn't get it. Rao gets it on the boot nicely to Anderson. Now Holman breaks past one. Gets out the handball. Fiorini. Fiorini doesn't have too many options and the kick is poor. Dre takes the mark at half back. He just goes in short. And he finds O'Brien. Ferro, come on. Poor kick, though. Turns it straight over. McPherson gives it over to Atkins. Atkins goes into the pocket. It's a poor kick. Ainsworth has time. Drill from the pocket. Ainsworth, they sock it off the ground in the goal square. The Gold Coast get a brilliant finish. And Lukosius has his third. What a moment for the Gold Coast Suns. Ainsworth in the pocket. Almost had goal of the year, but it wasn't going to go through. It was going to hit the post if it was holding that line. And did well there, Lukosius, to soccer it on the line. Great finish from the Suns. And they now lead by 16 points late in the second term. What a finish. Thank God I didn't miss that to go to the toilet. Great finish from the Suns. They look good at the moment. And maybe I was a little bit sceptical about them. They're with finals chances. I mean, if they win this one tonight, they're back in the race. And that was a great little finish there from the Suns. Great finish there from Lukosius. He's got 3 so far. He's already had a 5-goal game this year against the Cats. And I think it was the right decision. I don't think he would have bounced through. Especially with the wet, a little bit like dewy conditions in Northern Territory. I think it was the right call. So back in the ruck now. English taps it back. Nice to Liberatore. Eventually gets onto it. Spins back on the left boot. Kicks it out towards the forward 50. First to get there will be McNeil. Does nicely to push off Atkins. He leaves it behind though. Atkins taps it forward. Well on again from McNeil. Gives it to Jones. And now McRae. Feigns the kick. But then does drive it towards the top of the goal square. Will it get home? Break spoil there from Jeffrey. Knocks it through for a point. So Jeffrey now runs to the defensive pocket and goes long on the commentary side wing to Mac Andrew, but good spoil there from Lob. Thumps it 3 rows back. 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Gold Coast led it by 15. Kicked the only 3 goals of this second term, and they kicked 1 on the siren at quarter time. They've been brilliant. The Suns to this point in the game. The Bulldogs actually kicked the first 3 goals of this game. If you're just joining us so far, English knocks it down. Coming through there was Lob. Can't get away from the tackle of Andrew. Been on the ball up. So not a lot of stoppages in this first half. English knocks it down. McPherson jams it on the boot. Doesn't go 15 to Davies. Immediately gets rid of it. Humphrey now on the wing. Goes long towards the forward 50. Liam Jones read it perfectly. Gets pushed out of it there from King. Umpire doesn't pay it. Probably because of the free kick count. Play onto the call. King can't pick it up off the dewy deck. Eventually gets to Swallow. Gets it off to Davies. And now the Gold Coast are out the front. Goes to Berry. Great composure. Gets out the handball at the back. And now to Humphrey again. He drives it towards the forward 50. At the back is Lukosius. What a brilliant first half this guy is forming. And a chance now to go back for his 4th. What a first half Jack Lukosius is having here for the Suns. Rose almost cut it off from him. That was a brilliant kick going inside the forward 50 there from Humphrey. He's had a brilliant first half as well. But a chance now for Jack Lukosius to kick his 4th. Not too much of an angle to speak of. Pretty much straight in front. 25-30 out. Jack Lukosius comes in. Drills it home. He's got 4. They are on fire at the moment, the Gold Coast Suns. They currently lead by 21 points. The Suns, with all the momentum, they want this quarter to go for another 20 minutes. Dogs in tatters they are at the moment, man. They've absolutely cooked it. Still 2 minutes to go. I've got to give a lot of credit to Tom Berry. His first full game of the year. He played that brilliantly. He could have blazed away, but eventually took the time. Gave the handball out the back to Humphrey, who got it forward, showing they're contenders for finals. At the moment, they're playing okay. They're playing really well. And against a team who's played really well in the past month and a half, they're playing good football at Gold Coast. Last week in the Q clash, they were close with the Brisbane Lions, but late in that game, the Lions pulled away and won by 43 points. They were very disappointed with that performance.
But tonight against a real contender this year, they're playing brilliantly. English out of the ruck, decides to thump it forward. Good tackle there from Bontempelli on McPherson. Gets it out the back now. Was English to Daniels. Probably got a high one there, but didn't get the free kick. It'll be another ball up. Caleb Daniel, shortest player in the competition. I think he's just taller than me, so I'm quite a short ass. Witz knocks it down out the front. Can't get it out there. Rao. Lob does nicely. Gives it out to Daniel. He jams it forward inside the forward 50. Coming through is Waitman. Left it behind. And now Andrew takes the ball. Goes long towards a one-on-one. Roses. Gets the hand up. Can't bring it with him. Coming through again is the informed Lukosius. Gets tackled there from O'Donnell. And it'll be a ball in. Minute and a half to go in this first half. You know, you lost to them. Yeah, they played brilliantly against Melbourne earlier in the year too. So, yeah, if they can pull this one off tonight, they're back in contention. They played really well against Melbourne and they beat Geelong as well. So they have had some hard games this year, which they have performed in. Rao jams it on the boot, kicks it towards 50. Coming across there was Lukosius again. He gets a free kick. Play onto the call. He goes long to King. He can't bring it with him though. Jones did nicely, but he's actually got a free kick. Ben King. Well, that's only their second free kick of this game so far for the Gold Coast, I believe. And a chance here for the Suns to take a massive lead going into halftime. Got an arm chop there from Liam Jones. Bro, shut up. Stop the commentary. Shut up, bro. Why are you watching this funny stream, you fuckwit? Ben King comes in. Kicks towards goal. He's hooked it to the left-hand side. Will go through for a point. So he just kicks to behind there, Ben King. Poor miss in the end, I've got to be honest. I'm going to start spamming, bro. Bailey Smith gives off the handball to Dale, and Dale kicks it out wide. It's a nice kick, finds Jamara. It goes out the back of Jamara Ugle-Hagan, cut off there by Collins. So Collins, a chance here for the Suns to get one late. He goes long. Up goes King. Can't bring it with him. Lukosius leaves it behind as well. And Gardner gets the football. Kicks it clear. Again turned over though. The Gold Coast still have a chance here. Long. Gives it out to Powell who's in the middle of the ground. Eventually kicks it inside the forward 50 to a pack of players. Up goes Liam Jones from 5 deep. A free kick's been pulled out here. And it's going to... Oh no, play on's the call. It went to the Bulldogs. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and the time will run out here. Free kick go to Bontempelli, but at half time, the Suns are in a great position. Someone's down at the moment. Who is that? I think it's... Who was that? Hang on. So it's Humphrey at the moment on the ground. So Bailey Humphrey had a brilliant first half. He is down with an injury here, so going right into half time, he could be in some trouble. So at half-time, Gold Coast lead 8-3-51 to the Bulldogs 4-5-29. I'll bring up the statistics and then we'll go to half-time. At half-time, Jack Lukosius probably been best for the Gold Coast with the 4 goals. He's been massive. And then for the Bulldogs, I would say 100% it's been Marcus Bontempelli. He's probably keeping them in the game to an extent. Alright, let me just bring up the statistics and then we'll go to halftime. Alright, so there are the statistics at halftime, guys. There we go, just quick go through them. So leading all comers on the ground so far is Marcus Bontempelli with the 16, being best for the Bulldogs. We have 15 to Jack McRae, 14 to Bailey Smith, 14 to Bailey Dale, and then Caleb Daniel with the 13 rounding out the top 5. Gold Coast highest is Noah Anderson with 13 as well. And if the best fantasy watchers out there, the best fantasy scores, we have Bontempelli leading all comers with the 71. Jamara Ugle-Hagan with the 61. Sorry, Kat. Go through. Jack McRae with the 58, David Swallow with the 54 for the Gold Coast, and then rounding out the top 5 is Caleb Daniel. All right, guys, we'll be back at half. We'll be back at in the first, the third quarter, the second half. Jack McRae should probably be best on ground at this stage with the 4 goals. Although Barkers, Bontempelli's, even though they're down by 22 points, he's been brilliant. But anyway, guys, we'll be back in the second half.
G'day guys, and welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. We're now up to episode 12 and we just completed round 10 of the AFL season. A big week of AFL, but of course, the big news coming out pretty much today as we're recording on a Tuesday is the fact that Damien Hardwick has stood down as Richmond coach. Now, I think this is huge news. Obviously, they did lose this week against Essendon, but it was only by 1 point, and I didn't really see this coming. Me and my co-host, Jack, who isn't here today, he's got work, unfortunately, but we did talk about this a couple of weeks ago, saying that we think that maybe he's lost the love, or not the love, but maybe just the passion to drive Richmond back up the ladder. And it seems like that may be the case. I think he did say that he's lost the desire to I don't know, not coach, but he just lost the spark, I think, basically. And he's decided to step down as Richmond coach effective immediately. So an interim coach will be heading up the Richmond. I think it's Andrew McGuan or something to that extent. He's a long-time assistant coach under Damien Hardwick. He's going to take over as the interim coach for Richmond. And I think it's just opened up the floodgates to a potential job next year to Damien Hardwick. I don't see him completely exiting coaching altogether, but I think that he may do what Alistair Clarkson did and take a whole year off. But I think he's going to be returning pretty much next year. Now, we did talk... Now, me and my brother did talk about this before the podcast started, probably yesterday, about potential clubs he'll go to. And the potential ones that I came up with was Port Adelaide, Gold Coast, West Coast, and maybe North Melbourne, depending on if Alistair Clarkson decides to come back or not. But I think a huge one is actually Carlton. I think that Michael Voss... I don't think it's really his fault that Carlton are underperforming, but the fact is that Carlton need to make finals. They can say that they don't have to all they want, but the fact is they have to make finals this year, and if they don't, then it's a failure, 100%. Now, Damien Hardwick's obviously proved in his Richmond dynasty that he can win a premiership, win 2 or 3. He can take a club out from the bottom and bring them up to the top, and I think that maybe Carlton will be definitely at least sending the message to his manager saying, Dimmer, do you want to come as the coach for Carlton? Now, I don't know if he'll want to do that, because my big thing is he has been under a lot of pressure being in Victoria as a big coach of a big club and going to another one. I don't know if he'll want to do that. My big thing is I think if anyone is going to take over as coach next year, if there's a club that's going to take Damien Hardwick next year and he'll want to coach, I think the Gold Coast are the front runners. Considering Stuart Dew, he's done okay this year, but the fact is they should have been making finals this year, and at this stage, I don't think they will. So I think that's a big thing now that Damien Hardwick could be going up to the Gold Coast. There's obviously a chance that West Coast could look at him, but I don't think he'd want to move to Perth. I think one thing is the Gold Coast, just because I feel like they obviously want to make finals, and it's just outside of the AFL bubble, which Perth, to an extent, it's not as big as obviously Victoria, but it's still there. So I think that a big chance is the fact that he'll go to Gold Coast if he is coaching next year, or he may take a year off and potentially come the year after. But I can't see him being out of the game for too long. I don't think it would happen. I just think I just don't see anywhere he could be other than head coaching another club in at least the next 2 years. But that's basically what I wanted to say about that. I think he will be coaching next year, maybe the year after, but I think Damien Hardwick will be back. I don't think there's any question about that. But I just wanted to get that one out of the way quickly, because that's pretty much breaking news. But something that also came out today was the AFL 23 updated player ratings. And I haven't really touched the game as much as I've wanted to. I just lost a lot of passion for the game when it first came out, and I heard it is being a little bit better, so I think that is good to see. But I wanted to take a look at the player ratings that have been updated by AFL today. Just have a quick look at them. I think it's between round 1 and round 8.
So, as we can see here, the player ratings that have been updated is the fact that Jeremy Cameron is now the highest rated player at 93. I mean, that's fair enough considering how well he started off the season. After that, we have Clayton Oliver and Christian Petrarca, both at 92. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much fair. I have seen they have lowered the player ratings pretty quickly. But anyway, then at 91, we have Cripps Dacos, who's now Collingwood's best player, which, I mean, I guess, but I mean, he's only a second-year player, so I think it's a bit unlucky for other Collingwood players. But anyway, after that, we have Bontempelli and then Andrew Brayshaw to rounding out the top 7, I think it is. So, after that, we do have the other players here. These ones are all at 91 as well. We got Tom Stewart, Jordan Dawson, James Sicily, Hugh McCluggage, Darcy Moore, Tuke Miller, Tom Liberatore, Lockie Neal, Max Gawn, and Tom Lynch. Now, I'm pretty okay with most of these ratings, but the two I'm going to point out right away, and I think at least one a lot of people would be sitting there and scratching their head, is the fact of Hugh McCluggage. I have no idea how the hell he's the highest, equal highest rated player at Brisbane. He's a very good player and he's a very good wingman. But is he 91, basically the best wingman in the comp? I don't think so. I think that is a little bit far-fetched to say. I think there are other better wingmen, and I don't think that Hugh McCluggage does a 91 rating. And the other one here is Tom Lynch. Now, I can't really remember, but I feel like a lot of his... I feel like he got injured just at round 8, and plus he wasn't having a breakout year to earn one of the best tall forwards in the game. I mean, I know some people may say Tom Liberatore, but he has had a very good start to the year. Jordan Dawson, maybe some people could say that, but he's also had a very good start. Maybe James Sicily as well. But again, all those guys have had really good starts. My problem is Hugh McCluggage and Tom Lynch, as I don't really think they deserve to be that higher rated with the new AFL 23 ratings. But I mean, if you guys have any different sort of thoughts about the AFL ratings, or if you believe any other players should be in this list above some of these players, let me know. But yeah, I just feel like they're a couple of them are just a little bit off. But I think everyone's going to always have a differing opinion when game ratings for players come out. But yeah, now I know the podcast's going to be a little bit quicker this week just because my brother's not here, so there's not really much like talk back. So it's going to be a lot more solo. So I think this will be still okay. I'd rather my brother be here because he gives me a little bit more insight into stuff that he thinks, and we can talk about things. But yeah, he should be back next week. So yeah, I just had to get this one out today because we've got the news of Damien Hardwick coming out and the AFL 23 ratings. And so now I wanted to move on to the weekly votes. Now, at the end of the weekly votes, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you the current leaderboard of the Writers Award, which is basically like the better version of the Brownlow. Now, we're going to be showing that, and we'll be showing that on the left-hand side of the screen so you guys can take a look at it. And basically, this is like what me and Jack have agreed have been like the rankings 3, 2, 1 votes throughout the season so far. If you guys follow us over on Instagram, we actually be doing the votes every single week for every single game. So it's 3, 2, 1 like the Brownlow, but yeah, basically it's not always going to be the most disposal getters. It may be the best, most influential player, as we've seen it a couple of times, but also the midfielders can always get the votes as well. But let's get into the first game of round 10 with the votes, which was Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. Massive game, this one. Port Adelaide held on by 4 points, and I think anyone could agree that Zach Butters was unbelievable. Now, we were streaming this one on the channel, and Zach Butters had an absolute blinder. One of the best games I've seen from an individual player in some time. Probably since Gary Ablett with the Gold Coast. He had an absolute massive game, had 40 plus touches, kicked a couple of goals, and arguably brought Adelaide over the line. So in this game, the 3 votes, obviously Zach Butters. I don't think anyone can argue that. The 2 votes I gave to Connor Rozee, and the 1 vote I gave to Willem Drew for his work on Clayton Oliver. He did break away a little bit in the third term, but he was very good throughout the game, Willem Drew. After that, we get to North Melbourne versus Sydney. Now, I'm a Swan supporter, so I'm going to sound a little bit biased here, but the North Melbourne, that is 100% their fault. You can't blame the AFL for it. They've came out and said that they warned North Melbourne about the interchange infringement. Now, if anyone doesn't remember or doesn't know, I don't know how you couldn't. It was all over the AFL. But basically, North Melbourne used 76 rotations from 75 that you're allowed to have. They went over the top and they got a free kick paid against them and a 50-metre penalty against them in the last quarter with about a minute to go. Now, look, if this happened against Sydney, I would have been pissed off, but also I would understand that that's 100% their fuck up. It is, I'm sorry, but it's 100% their fault and they have to own it. And to North Melbourne's credit, they have 100% owned it and said it was our fault and we apologise. But there's a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, if it was the grand final, we really want it decided by that. No, we wouldn't. But on the other hand, it's like, it's your mistake. It's not like a umpire's decision has gone wrong. Everyone knows in the AFL you get 75 rotations. If you go over that, you've broken the rules. And it's not like those players, it wasn't like it was a quick, oh, he got on the field and then came back off. He stayed on the field and was in the next contest. So, and for some people who were saying that, oh, it should have been paid downfield or as soon as it happened, I don't think anyone knew exactly when it happened. It took a few seconds, and that's obviously when the ball went down to Sydney's forward line, and that's when it was paid. So, Sydney 100% got away with that game. North Melbourne should have won that game. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit facetious to say, oh, it's too harsh a rule, because that is a rule that you shouldn't be overstepping. It's an equal rule that everyone gets 75. If you go over even by one, it should be 100% a free kick and 50. That's my opinion. If you guys disagree, I understand, but that's just my opinion on the rule. Anyway, in this game, 3 votes I gave to Luke Parker. He was absolutely brilliant for Sydney and was probably their best player by far. 2 votes I gave to Jai Simpkin. He was North Melbourne's best player. He very, very well in this one. It was very contested, and he's definitely stood up with the loss of Luke Davies-Uniacke early in the week. So that's a great game from him. And the 1 vote I actually gave to Bailey Scott. He actually played really well off halfback on the wing, so I gave him the 1 vote. And I think he's actually going to be definitely one for North Melbourne in the future. He probably hasn't really stood up to the standards that they were hoping for. I know he finished pretty high in their BNF last year, but I think now he's taking his game to another level. So I was really impressed by his performance on the weekend. Next up, we get to Bulldogs versus the Crows. Now, on Instagram, I didn't actually post these numbers until today, but I did have these numbers in my phone. It's just I didn't post them. I forgot to. But this game was pretty much a slugfest. Bulldogs should have won this one by way more. They kicked 19 behinds. The Crows kicked 10 of them for 5 goals as well. The Crows, I think this is a big thing as well. They've had a very good start to the year. I'll give them that. But if they don't have they're heavily relying on Taylor Walker still, and I think that's a big problem. I don't think they can just drop him and play the young guys because I don't think that they're capable enough yet. And we saw Darcy Fogarty had to rule the forward line by himself against the Bulldogs, and he simply couldn't do it. So I think the Crows have a little bit of problems up forward. They're not all the glory days just yet. They're not. I don't know if they'll push finals this year, but even if they do, they can't win a premiership. They could, but I don't. I don't think they can. But they're going to struggle in the next few years if they don't develop a Thilthorpe or a Gallant. So the Crows struggled in this one, and Bulldogs played very well. One player in particular who I want to point out who got the 3 votes in this one is Bailey Smith. He was brilliant in this game. He's taken over the midfield role since Adam Treloar's been injured, and I honestly think now he should hold that spot in the midfield. Bailey Smith is playing really well in there, and he gives him just something a little bit different. He's a little bit more of a faster player on the outside. He's good on both ways. I mean, Bontempelli and Liberatore are a lot more clearance players. He's a little bit more on the outside, which I think is a little bit more of a different player than Treloar. So I hope that he does keep that spot for Bulldogs fans. 2 votes I gave to Bailey Dale. He was brilliant off halfback. Arguably, even though he made, I think, All-Australian last year, he's in pretty good form this year as well, almost career best. So he's definitely playing well back there, and I think it was a great little play from Luke Beveridge, I think last year, or the year before that, when they moved him to halfback, because he's a very good ball user, and I mean, he had about 35, 36 touches in this game, so he was brilliant. And the 1 vote I gave to Caleb Daniel. Now, Caleb Daniel in the last in about a month or so, he's actually moved forward. So, he's actually moved right into the midfield, which is kind of surprising for a guy who's like 167 centimetres tall. So he's quite small, but he's more than happy to get in there and get the football, and he's a good ball user, which I think a lot of midfielders these days just aren't thought of being good, don't need to be the best ball users in the game because they just clear it forward, but I think that midfielders who can use the ball are actually very underrated. Next up, we get to Fremantle versus Geelong. This was actually a bit of a surprise. I did not see Fremantle winning this game. I know they beat the Swans the week before, but...
Alright guys, so we're back.
couple of minutes before the second half. Gold Coast lead by 22 points currently. Currently in the other game as well. That's half time as well. Idiot. Bombers lead 53-29 currently. Leading fantasy player out there is Zach Merritt with the 58. Liam Duggan for the 55 with the West Coast Eagles. This game could be a blowout. The Gold Coast. I don't see that coming. I feel like the Bulldogs will come back. They did have a couple of chances going forward. They're just conversion going into what kicking a goal was just woeful. Gold Coast have played brilliantly in that first half. Currently, the AFL ladder, I think it's tonight, there'll be a live ladder right now, I'll assume. Is there anyone to click the ladder? Where do you check? No. What? No, come on. What is that? Bring up the ladder. Ugh. Ladder, there. Fucking idiot. Can't even find it. Moron. So currently, if the Bulldogs lose this game, they're still 6th. The Gold Coast go up to 12th on the ladder. Which knocked Carlton down to 13th, which is hilarious. Fucking Carlton. But if the Bulldogs win this game, they're right in the top 4. So the quarter is about to start. Third quarter is underway. Shit, I forgot to sort this. Sorry, umpire misbounces it and gives me an opportunity to change the quarter for everyone, so thank the umpire for fucking up his job. Back in the ruck. Witt's not set down. Liberatore will get the first clearance of the second half of the Bulldogs. They need to start lifting here. Well done there from Ballard to push Norton onto the football. Gets it out to Collins, and now on the boot there was Jeffrey. Didn't get much of a purchase on it though. Now Arthur Jones gets the football on the turnover. Now and Scott drives it inside the forward 50, but it's a poor kick. And Ainsworth cuts it off. Been pretty good in this one, Ainsworth. Probably been a little bit underperforming in his career so far to date. But needs to start lifting. He's played well tonight. Great kick out to Witts. He cakes the mark. He's done well against English tonight. He goes in short, finds Fiorini. My cat just did a massive dump, so I can smell that one. And you guys may smell it through the stream because it is a woeful one. Goes in short, and he finds Collins. So the Gold Coast look like they're going to switch the play. Andrew has the football now. He goes down the wing. It's a poor kick, though. He's had a couple of poor kicks tonight. And gets cut off there from Baker. Has an option on top of the 50. All on his own is Rory Lobb. The Lobster, as someone called him in the chat tonight. And a chance now for the Bulldogs to get the first goal of the second half and really give some momentum. Poor kick there from Andrew. He's had some good moments tonight, but he's had a couple of really poor ones. It cost him a goal earlier in the game. And a chance here, Rory Lobb to kick his first. He comes out to the right, drives towards goal, and he kicked exactly where he aimed it. Kicked it through for a point. First score of the second half goes to the Bulldogs with it behind. Holy shit, my cat just dropped a massive dump. So the Gold Coast, short into Jeffrey in the back pocket, tries to fake out Waitman, can't do so he eventually gives up the handball to Andrew. He drives it long to the wing, but English cuts it off. Doesn't get paid the mark, though. Davies does nicely to play for the whistle. Now gets it out to Powell. And then to Witts, but Witts gets dragged down there from Liberatore. Free kick to the Bulldogs. They've started this second half nicely. Has the eyes wide open there, Liberatore. Trying to find an option inside. Norton can't get there. Good cut off there from Roses working back. And it'll be a ball up inside the forward 50 here for the Dogs. Great work there from Roses. Had a quiet night, but he worked back there to lend a hand to the defence. And now back in the ruck. Witts knocks it down, straight down to Daniel. Gives it back to Liberatore. And Liberatore winds up from 50, but it goes out and goes on the full. So the Bulldogs have had their opportunities tonight, but they've just been woeful going inside. No, I can't even find the stream. There we go. All right. So Liberatore coming through. Humphrey tackles him. He's been good since he was down on his haunches at half time, but he's okay. Now Bontempelli gets out the handball to Daniel, who's got some space. Breaks past one. Gives up the handball to Norton. They can almost run it into an open goal. Jones gets tackled there by Collins. Should be pinned. Play on to the call. Powell gets spun there by Daniel. And he's pinned. Oh, what a shocking piece of umpiring there, but the Gold Coast should have got the free kick in the first place, I believe. Here we go. As Arthur Jones got the football. That's not a handball. How is that not a free kick to the Gold Coast? That's a ridiculous decision. And then the Bulldogs get a free kick for it. Fuck me. That's bullshit umpiring. This is probably why I'll never get a job at Fox Footy or Channel 7, because I'll just say that. But anyway. A free kick to Caleb Daniel. Straight in front, 25 metres out, kicks towards goal and he nails it. So the Bulldogs get the first goal of the second half through some woeful umpiring. Unbelievable. That is a shocking decision. Agreed, Osho. That is stupid. I hate the umpire. I hate commentary sometimes because they should be 100% calling that out. That is a woeful decision. And it cost the team a goal. That gives the Bulldogs momentum as well. That's shocking. But unlucky there for the Gold Coast Suns. They get a little bit. That's a shocking decision. I'm still pissed off about that. That is a throw. That is not a legal handball there from Arthur Jones. And then this one. Then Caleb Daniel gets a free kick. 12 free kicks to 2. No, they don't have to be even, but fuck me, that was ridiculous. Taps it down there English, goes straight to Humphrey, but another ball up. Basically straight in the centre circle once again. Stuart Dew doesn't look too happy at the moment. Back in the ruck again. Witts taps it forward, trying to go to Davies, couldn't gather it. Dale gets out to Liberatore and grabs it back. Now Dale driving forward, gets tackled, but eventually gives up the handball to Daniel, and he drives it towards the forward 50. Andrew should mark this. Collins can't mark it though, and taps it down to Long. He kicks it away with a weird kick, but it gets out to Casbolt, does nicely with the contest to Roses, and then Captain Witts drives it towards the forward 50, one-on-one King. Does nicely in the tangle there from Jones, gets tapped out the back, great tackle there from Holman, the 100th gamer. Coming through is Lukosius, best player of the first half, drives it across the 50, it's a great option. Finds Ben Ainsworth. That was great footy from Jack Lukosius, really coming into his own this season. And Ben Ainsworth points towards the goal, he's going for home. So a chance here for the Gold Coast to get one back after the Bulldogs got a lucky one. Ben Ainsworth has been a little bit on and off when he's set shot goal kicking at times in his career. Comes out to the right, gets a little bit more distance on it, winds up, leaves it out to exactly where he kicked it, and it goes on the full. I think junior coaches tell their players, if you run out like that towards, wait, this is exactly where you're going to kick it. And that's exactly what happened there. The Bulldogs have currently had 20 more inside 50s to the Suns, and yet they lead it by 15 points. This is exactly what I was talking about, how they've been woeful going inside the forward 50, and the only reason why they got a goal earlier was because of a stupid umpiring decision. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Daniel goes in short, and he finds Ed Richards, goes long with the kick, but Andrew takes it out the back. Umpire doesn't pay the mark, and Andrew goes in short. Davies can't gather it, can't mark it, but he eventually gathers it to the handball. Goes to Fiorini, who drives it long. King can't take the mark. On the ground is Anderson. He drives it towards the top of the goal square, one-on-one, but great mark there from Liam Jones against Jack Lukosius. Looks like they've made the change there and moved Liam Jones onto the informed Lukosius at the moment. That's a big change because he was playing well on Ben King so far in this one. But it looks like they're going to move their best defender onto Gold Coast's current best forward. Long kick up goes O'Brien, who can't bring it down. On the ground is Smith. He doesn't get it. Now Williams can't get the handball away. And a great tackle there from O'Brien on Ainsworth. Then it'll be a ball up. So just outside the forward 50 for the Gold Coast Suns. 14.5 to go in the third quarter. Umpire lobs it up. English knocks it down. Daniel dropped that ball. Play onto the call. Liberatore tackled well there from Witts. Handles it at the back to Liberatore, and the Bulldogs can go. McRae kicks it up and under ball here for Lob to try and get to it. Jeffrey from 3 deep thumps it forward. Only goes as far as Williams, who has a bit of time on the wing. Goes across, but a great spoil there from Andrew. And he's up and down moments in this one so far, Andrew, but that was good to cut off the mark there from Ugle-Hagan and will go out of bounds on the wing. Hot one at Darwin. The side of this game, it's 27 degrees. I don't think it's at that point at the moment, but the players are sweating. Gets pushed almost out of it there, Witts. Gets the ball out the back somehow. Dale tackles Holman well, but almost held him too long. Eventually spills out to Williams, who gets tackled well from Holman, the ragged dog. And it'll be another ball up. By the way, I mean that in the nicest way as possible. I respect Nick Holman for how he plays. Back in the ruck again. Witts does nicely, taps it out to Davies. Just can't glove it, though. Eventually tackles Dale, another ball up. So repeat stoppages. We've seen that a lot in this game so far. Back in the ruck once again. English probably didn't get that one. It was probably to Witts. Now Anderson kicks it forward, but it'll be cut off well there. Oh, probably got a free kick there, Dre. That's a free kick for the Bulldogs. So Dre will get the free kick in the back half. Goes in short to Daniel. That's not 15. Play onto the call. Daniel goes in short. Finds Richards. And now the Bulldogs can go. He's got pressure on him, though. So he has to go out wide, and he finds O'Brien. He goes long. Oh, that's another one. Alex Keith, who was out. Sorry, that's just a conversation I was having earlier. So gets it out to English. Now Richards. That's gonna be nothing for most people out here. Goes long with the kick. It's cut off there from Collins, but he can't bring it with him. And now the Bulldogs can get forward. Ugle-Hagan taps it past Andrew. If he keeps it in, he's a chance. Oh, he just didn't get the bounce up there. Didn't get the pop up there, Ugle-Hagan. It rolls out of bounds. He's been brilliant tonight, Ugle-Hagan. Nearly had a chance there, Ugle-Hagan, but just left it behind. So a stoppage inside the forward 50 for the Dogs. They've kicked the only goal of the second half so far. Back in the ruck. Both ruckmen miss it. Gets out the back to Fiorini, who jams it on the boot immediately. Goes long with the kick down the wing, but Liam Jones cuts it off. Immediately plays on. Goes back into the forward pocket. Collins going back with the fly. Dropped the mark. On the ground is Ugle-Hagan. Good tackle there from Long. Ugle-Hagan kept it in for momentarily, but eventually he rolls out of bounds. Collins has had a couple of drop marks tonight. He's usually very reliable back there. He still played okay, but a couple of drop marks could have been costly. Back in the ruck once again. Witt's probably got a little tap down on his far as McRae. Gives it out the back to Scott, who drives towards goal from 45 metres there. Goes to the line. Push in the back there from Norton. Not paid. And Aaron Norton gets the goal. Another one to the Dogs. Bit controversial, but they get another. Back to 9 points the difference. Basically, you can tackle someone on the goal line and it won't be paid. So I'm not surprised that one wasn't paid, but it's another goal to the Dogs. If I'm the Gold Coast, I'm feeling a little bit salty at the moment with a couple of umpire decisions, but nonetheless. That should have been a free kick as well. I'm sorry, but that should have been a free kick as well. Slight nudge. Sorry, Sean Bergwijn, loved your career, but that wasn't a slight nudge. That was a push in the back. Whatever. 666 rule has been given against the Gold Coast Suns. That's a warning to them. Only 2 goals for the second half so far has been to the Bulldogs. Witts knocks it down out of the ruck to Rao. Rao, always strong, has the football. Gets the ball on the left boot, kicking inside the forward 50, ill-directed. Duray just takes the contact from Holman. And it'll be a ball up. Back in the right. Which just takes it out of there. From 45 metres out, drives towards goal, but Liam Jones will cut it off, takes the mark. Last line of defence there for the Dogs. Oh, reliable. Goes long on the outer wing. Not the best kick, but does well there, O'Donnell. Almost took the mark. Got slapped out of there. Brow somehow breaks the tackle. Lukosius always cool, calm, and collected. Try to get back on the left boot. Couldn't. Gives it out to Davies, who drives it long and high. Up goes Richards, who can't bring it with him. And now spills out to Williams, who has some time. Goes long down the wing. Does well in the end there was Powell, but only gets as far as Scott, who gets tackled well from Powell. They had them time to get rid of it. The umpire puts the whistle away. There'll be another ball up. So on the wing right now. English and Witts go at it again in the ruck. Witts taps it out the back nicely. Rao has the hands free, gets it out somehow, and now Witts just kicks it forward. Can't gather it in the end there. Was Badale. Tried to soccer it off the ground, couldn't get his foot to it. Now Bailey Smith spins, nice little handball to English. And he handballs out in front of Bontempelli. If he keeps it in there, away are the Dogs. Has some time, gathers the football. Bontempelli drives it long inside the forward 50. Great spoil there from Collins. Thumps it forward now. McPherson has some time. Nice little kick and finds Matt Rao. Bit of quiet in the first half, Matt Rao, but he's had a brilliant year. He's actually came onto the form that everyone was expecting him to come straight into his career. It took a bit of time, but he's played brilliantly so far. Long kick out to his captain. Witts couldn't grant it with him. Richards tries to cut it off, but now on the ground, Berry. Great smother coming across there. I think it was Williams, and it'll be an out-of-bounds stoppage. Michael Long at the footy tonight, up in Northern Territory. Great to see. Was at the long walk last week, obviously at Dreamtime at the G. Back in the ruck now. Witts taps it down. Coming through there was Witts, who socketed it off the ground nicely. Going forward is Holman. Just couldn't clean grab it, and it just spills out of bounds. About 60 out from the goal of the Gold Coast Suns. Bulldogs have had the better start in this second half. English tries to tap it down. Coming across there was Waitman, being very quiet in this game so far. Goes down. Rao brings him down, and the umpire play on the call. Rao has the football, kicks it up and under ball. Probably gone about 10 metres in the air. O'Donnell coming through, spoils it forward. Humphrey tries to play a little smart play out the back. Now Waitman goes in, plays for the high one, and he got it. Didn't seem like a head injury now, does it, Waitman? You grabbed your head at first, but now you're pretty fine to get straight back up, nonetheless. Gets the free kick. 13 free kicks to 2 at the moment. 2. The Gold Coast only got 2 free kicks in the second quarter. Ugle-Hagan probably gave away a push in the back. And Matt Rao's got a free kick for a high one. That's their third free kick of the game. Ridiculous umpiring so far in this third quarter. Matt Rao gets the free kick. Drives it long. Up goes Ben King. Probably should have marked it in the end. Dale out the back. Coming through is Holman. Can't bring it with him. Good play there from Duray. Now Richards worried out of it. Lukosius almost threw that out. Holman kicks it forward. Great kick. And finds Ben King. Great work there from Nick Holman. Just got the ball to boot. And the ball probably went about 10 metres, but the Gold Coast probably deserved a little bit of the rubber of the green from the umpires at the moment. Great play. Probably a throw against the coaches as well. But I don't think the Bulldogs can really say too much at the moment with the umpiring. Now Ben King. A chance here to kick the ball, the first goal of the second half of the Gold Coast. 20 out, pretty much straight in front. Ben King comes in. Umpire doesn't move. Gold Coast finally get there first to the second half. Through powerful forward Ben King. Currently, the other game, Essendon lead 53-30 against the West Coast Eagles. 6 minutes into the third term. Great work there from the Gold Coast Suns. They finally got it forward and they get their first goal of the second half. Take it out to 15 points. Had a 21-point lead at the halftime break. The Gold Coast happy to get one back there. The Bulldogs still staying with the Gold Coast at the moment. Back in the ruck now. Both second rucks are in it. And a free kick has been pulled out to the Bulldogs. No, it is a free kick to the Gold Coast, but they can't take advantage, which is strange. I think it is the rule. If an outside umpire pays a free kick, you can't take advantage. So Rao takes the free kick in the middle of the ground, kicks it out short to his mate in Noah Anderson. Now Anderson decides to drive it long inside the forward 50. Lob should take this. Gets out the back though. Rose is on the ground, can't bring it with him. So Lob handballs it back. It's a poor handball though. It's too hot for O'Donnell. King tries to grab it on the ground, can't do so. Tapped out to a little bit of a dangerous area. It's Caleb Daniel. Breaks the tackle of Atkins and dribbles it down the boundary line. And it's on the full. Oh, it's poor from Caleb Daniel. He's actually kicked it on the full. He goes in short there. Noah Anderson plans the call against Atkins. Plans the call. Gives out the handball. Now with the snap, I think it's Roses towards goal as it got to hit the post. That was a huge chance for Gold Coast. It was Roses, in fact. He nearly got it there. $16-point lead at the moment for the Gold Coast Suns. Scott has the football on the defensive side of the wing. Eventually runs out to the left-hand side with the man on the mark, not much to do with it. Collins goes back. That's a great mark. Great mark from Sam Collins. He's the old school defender. He does brilliantly there. So now he goes long down that outer wing again. I think it's for Kocius in a 3-on-1, and Gardner does the job, thumps it out of bounds. Gold Coast have led a lot of this since early in the second half, the second quarter, first quarter. Fucking hell. What about me? Whatever. That's a great mark, yeah. So Casbolt and Lob both in the ruck at the moment. Whitsend, English taking a rest. Casbolt almost pushed Lob out of it, kicks it long, gets out the back though, only as far as I think Gardner, who drives it back long. Then Ballard can't gather it. Good tackle there from Jones on McPherson. McPherson just accepts his fate. Be a ball up. How you doing, Harley? What are you up to tonight, mate? Back in the ruck. Coming through there was Casbolt. Couldn't bring it with him. Nice little handball there from Liberatore out the back. McRae feigns the handball on the left, then comes back into the right-hand side. Kicks it long. Coming across the flight there was Long. Now Andrew just takes it out of bounds. It'll be another ball in. So just inside the forward 50 of the Dogs. Casbolt knocks it down, coming through as McPherson. He kicks it up in the air only about 2 metres. Davies wasn't strong enough over the football. McRae to Bailey Smith with an absolute not invisible handball, but it was not a good one. And coming back, well done there from Liam Jones, cuts it off. He's played brilliantly tonight here, Liam Jones. He drives it long inside the forward 50 to the leading Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Speaking of informed players, Jamara has played brilliantly tonight. And a great play there from Liam Jones. Hit him up, hit him straight in the chest, and it's a great kick. So it's Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Probably the only thing he hasn't done tonight is kick straight at times. But a chance here to kick his second. Pretty much straight in front. 40 metres out. Kicks towards goal. That looks pretty nice. Jamara Ugle-Hagan kicks his second. And the Bulldogs making a charge. $10 points the difference. He's played brilliantly tonight, Liam Jones. Gets that goal there for the Bulldogs. Maybe it won't be a blowout. No, I thought the Bulldogs would come back. But I mean, to be fair, 2 of their 3 goals in this quarter have been from free kick or umpiring decisions. So, good play there from the Bulldogs, though. Back in the ruck once again. Both the main ruckmen back in it. English knocks it down. Liberatore just leaves it behind. Great pressure there from the Gold Coast. Rao drives it forward. Can't get to, I think it was Humphrey. Then Rose is tackled completely without the football. Play onto the call. Gardner drags it in. Good pressure here from the Suns. Berry can't gather it. O'Brien just fumbles at the crucial stage. Atkins gets out to Roses in the pocket. Gives out the handball. And now right in the forward pocket. That could be a chance, but it's gone through for a behind. I think it was Tom Berry. He just couldn't get it through. So Ed Richards will take the kicking duties here for the Bulldogs. Still 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. He goes in short and he finds Baker. So the Bulldogs just going to be working it through slowly here. Finds English in the defensive 50. So 3 short kicks. Really haven't moved too far away here. Bulldogs, O'Donnell goes in short. That's gone about 14 metres. I'll give him that. Gardner now. In the back 50, still the Bulldogs. Gardner has the opportunity now to kick it long. Long kick going to Waitman, and a one-on-one. Up goes, can't bring it down with him. Plants the call. McRae gets the handball inside. A little bit ill-directed. Gets it to English. Back to McRae. Back to English. Can't gather it though. Goes to Williams. They still have the handball in around in a phone box here, the Bulldogs. Looking for a high one there. Duray didn't get it. Rose's good tackle. And the umpire pins him. Oh, I think they got a bit lucky there, the Gold Coast. That looked like a high one. Roses plays on the drinks person's on the field. Eventually kicks it long to the top of the goal square to one-on-one. Gets at the back. Humphrey running through. Can't bring it with him. Casbolt still has the ball here, the Gold Coast. Humphrey handles it inside. Really no one in particular. Now Holman fighting. Can't get rid of it there. Too far there, the Bulldogs. Richards jams it on the boot. Gold Coast players everywhere. Witz should have marked it. That was poor. Eventually gets to the Power. Now Roses. Dance steps. Gives it out back to Power. In the forward pocket. Snaps towards goal, good smother. Still a chance here, the Gold Coast. Rao gets it out to Witz. He puts it on the boot. This has got about 20 metres. And eventually, everyone takes a breath through Tim English. Holy shit. The Gold Coast had a chance there. Jared Witz should have marked. He dropped an absolute sitter. And then English does what Witz needed to do and took the mark. A long kick outside the defensive 50. Thumped away there for Rory Lobb. Will be a stoppage on the wing. 4.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Witz looks blowing a little bit. Maybe a little bit tired with the conditions. Umpire lobs it in once again. English thumps it forward, coming through as Bontempelli gets at the handball. Great tackle from behind there from Berry against Duray. Umpire doesn't pin him. I don't care if they hit his toenail. That should be gone. Nonetheless, the Bulldogs are away through Jones out to Smith. He kicks it long, Norton. Gets a hand to it. Can't bring it with him, though. Ballard does brilliantly, and he'll get a free kick for his efforts. Comedy of errors indeed, mate. This game's on a knife's edge at the moment. The Bulldogs have definitely caught back in this third quarter. Gold Coast still hold the lead by 11. Ballard goes long. King goes up. Can't bring it with him. Berry been pretty good tonight. Had a chance there. May have dove on this one. Umpire gives him a reprieve. Will be a ball up. 3 minutes, 42 seconds to go in this third quarter. Gold Coast up by 11 points. Bulldogs have kicked 3 goals in this third quarter to the Gold Coast 1. Round out of the stoppage, drives it long. Out the back is Liam Jones, but Lukosius comes through, feints the handball, eventually gives it to Holman. He can run and goal. Richards chases him from behind. Holman got to push in the back, but he'll nail the goal. Great finish from Nick Holman, and the Gold Coast get another. He's got 2 in his 100th game tonight, and that's a great finish there from Nick Holman. Great work there from the Gold Coast Suns. Probably one of the bigger mistakes Liam Jones has made tonight. He needed to put a lot more of his fist in there, spoil. He didn't get much on it. Lukosius on the ground did brilliantly. And that's a goal assist to add to his 4 goals that he's had, Lukosius. Great goal from Nick Holman. He's got 2. Just got the kick away, yeah. He would have got a free kick, though. He got pushed in the back, so... Yeah, I think if Ed Richards if he took another step here, Holman, he would have been gone. But Nick Holman absolutely loved the goal. And as he should, it's a great finish. But now back in the ruck. Witz and English going all night. Witz tried to take it out of the ruck, dropped it though. Liberatore gets his hands free, does nicely to Bontempelli. Handles it out the front now, and the Bulldogs are away. McRae off to the loping English from 55 metres out, drives towards goal. It's a poor kick though. A very poor kick. He's actually... kicked it about 35 metres, really, towards goal. It's a terrible kick from Tim English. Oh, jeez. He may be very athletic, but he is still a ruckman at the end of the day, and that was a poor kick in the end from English. But it is a stoppage inside the forward 50 here for the Bulldogs. So, Lobb goes into the ruck in the forward stoppages. Witz wins it down. Rao, good tackle there from Daniel. Rao does get it away, though. Holman coming through does nicely. Jeffrey... has time, jams it on the boot, goes up and under here for Anthony Scott, didn't want to mark it, fists it forward, and Holman comes through, almost held without it there, the umpire was about to pay it, eventually didn't. O'Brien gets the kick away, smothered, and now Davies drives it long. Jones running back with the flight, can't get his hands to it. Eventually gets away, does nicely to break away from King. Kicks it long to a 2-on-2. Great mark there from Matt Rao. That was a tough mark from a tough nut. So Rao at halfback has the football. Goes long to a 2-on-1. Coming across there was O'Brien. Both the defenders go down. At the back is Fiorini. Has some space. Goes long to a 1-on-1. It's Lukosius, the man. He takes it. Jack Lukosius having a night out. Great kick in the end there from Fiorini. A comedy of errors there from the two Bulldogs defenders in Jones and O'Brien. They really caused this opportunity for goal here for the Suns. And Gardner really couldn't do much about that kick. It was a brilliant option. And Lukosius now for his 5th goal. Just under 2 minutes to go in this third term. The chance now to actually bring it out to a game-high lead of 21 points. Sorry, 23 points. Lukosius comes in, drills the goal. He's got 5. And they're actually take a game-high lead of 23 points. And they have actually won this quarter despite the Bulldogs having a brilliant start to it. Back to a blowout, yeah, 100% Osho. Oh, I agree. Game's over. Let's go to the better game in the Essendon West Coast. How much is that one? Still 22 points. I'm actually surprised. Is it like a wet? No, it's not even a wet weather game. It doesn't look like. I'm surprised they're still in it, to be honest. But nonetheless, I guess it's good on them. The Bulldogs have absolutely blown their lines in the last few minutes. They've just given away 2 pretty easy goals to the Suns. Jack Lukosius has got 5. Pull bats from the umpire. We'll get it back. 1.5 minutes to go in this third term. Gold Coast at a game-high 23-point lead. Back in the ruck, Witts knocks it down, goes to Anderson. He just jams it on the boot. Coming through was Davies, couldn't bring it with him. Now Holman just pushes it forward to his captain in Witts. Gets an awkward bounce there, Berry. Drags it back in, though. He's going to be in trouble now. Bontempelli McRae knew it. He actually got rid of it somehow, Berry, and it'll be a ball up. Can't really see the scoreboard. I mean, I don't really know what to do better than what it is at the moment. Holman tries to drag it forward. Can't really do much. Gets it smothered. Anderson gets it out to Long, who drives it forward. And now a chance here for a 1-on-1. It's Mark Boyle there from O'Brien. Yeah, sorry. It's just a better... Maybe I'll change the scoreboard. I think it looks okay, though. So now O'Brien has the football at half-back. He goes long out towards the wing lob. And a pack of players, including Norton. He just fisted out the front. Scott almost fell over and just got rid of the handball. Little underground job there from Norton, but then Waitman fumbles it over the line. And Collins gives him a little bit of a talk to. But it's a stoppage on the wing at the moment. 37 seconds to go. The Bulldogs probably need one to go into three-quarter time. Give them a little bit of momentum because the Gold Coast have got the last 2. Back in the ruck. English wins it down. Straight down to Daniel, who gets immediately set upon by Powell. Another ball up. 30 seconds to go. Bulldogs got it all to do in the last quarter. Witts wins it down. Bontempelli almost threw that away. It was a nice little tap, though. Daniel drives it forward. McRae does nicely to get out to Norton, who gathers it nicely. Gives it out to Dale. Goes inside the forward 50 and finds Lob. Nice little chance here over the top to Cody Waitman, who takes the mark in the pocket. And a chance on three-quarter time for the Bulldogs to get it back to 17 points. Pox stay back. I don't know what Pox means, but... I think you meant dogs they come back. I think you meant dogs, but I'm assuming so. So Cody Waitman. Been pretty quiet tonight, to be honest. He's only had 4 touches, so I was right about that. Good on me. But a chance now to set himself with a little bit of momentum going into this last quarter. Cody Waitman in the... probably about a 40-degree angle, 35 metres out. Cody Waitman comes in. Usually he kicks pretty straight. This man, he does now. Three-quarter time, the Bulldogs going with the momentum with a great finish. Back to 17 points. Gold Coast lead by 17 points going into the last change. Great finish there from Cody Waitman, though. Alright, just round statistics as well. So not a blowout again, though, I show you. Don't think it's a blowout now. We're back. Toyota. Sorry, it was Toyota, right? I had to say it. Alright, guys, so at 3/4 time... Wait a sec. There we go. So 3/4 time, guys, leading disposal getter on the ground is Jackson McRae. He's played pretty well tonight. Caleb Daniel with the 22, Matt Rowell with the 20, along with Dale and Bontempelli. Take out the top 5 disposal getters. And then for the AFL fantasy watchers out there, we have Caleb Daniel with the 91, Matt Rowell with the 86, Bontempelli with the 84, English with the 83, and then Jared Witts with the 81, rounding out the top 5. And the other game, by the way, Bombers lead by 33 points over the West Coast Eagles. Nick Martin's leading all comers on the ground with touches for the Bombers. He has 24. Jaden Hunt with 23. Liam Duggan with 23. Ridley with 21. And Redmond 21, taking out the top 5 in that one with his disposals. Who's kick 3? Kyle Langford. I think he's so underrated, Kyle Langford. Down to the ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz. You're on the Dogs will be missing those those marks on the 4th, like the last time. You're in the Suns on this one. They're playing pretty well. They've definitely... I mean, the Bulldogs getting that last one could definitely give them momentum in the last, but I think this will be going down... Unlike Osho thinking they're going to win this one by about 100 points. I'm joking, man. But I think this could go down to the wire a bit here. I think the Bulldogs can come back. They just need to start using the ball going inside the forward 50 a lot better. For the future. On to the ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz. By the way, guys, I'll actually say this now because I don't know if some people don't watch the podcast or whatever. We actually do every single week a weekly votes on every single game, like the Brownlow, for example. So 3, 2, 1 votes. We do them on, if you guys follow us on Instagram or Facebook, if you guys are boomers. Boundary Riders, you guys can see it on the screen as well. If you guys follow that, you can actually catch up with the votes that I give every single game. And my brother tries to keep up with the other games as well. Do you call most games? I try to do at least 2 a week. I usually call Friday nights, but I didn't last night because it was a Swans game. I refuse to do Swans games because I know I'll be biased. And I don't want to be like a commentator like that we see commentators half the time just commentate the teams that they used to play for and they're just so biased and they can't give an unbiased opinion. So that's why I refuse to commentate Swans games. But other than that, I'm pretty much trying to do the best 2 games of the round. I was going to do the Melbourne game this afternoon, but I had to do some stuff, so I couldn't do that one. But I thought this game was going to be a pretty good one, and to this point, I think it has been pretty good. And tomorrow I'm going to do the Crows Brisbane game, because I think that's going to be game of the round. But Suns got this habit of losing their juice on the 4th. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely... that's why I think the Bulldogs are every chance, but we'll see how we go. The Bulldogs have been good in the last few weeks, so But will they be a little bit like, I don't know, the conditions are a lot different than what they had last week. I don't think they've really settled to the conditions too well. I think the Gold Coast have played a lot better. They seem to have enjoyed the warmer conditions. So we'll see how we go. We'll see who's got the fitness as well to run out this last quarter, because I think some clubs, I think both teams could be a little bit could be like, a little bit fatigued going into the last quarter as well. Because not many games in, May are 27 degrees at night. And the final quarter is now underway to start in Darwin. Umpire thumps it down. English in Wits. Wits gets the win down on as far as McRae. Gets it off across to Bontempelli, who drives it towards the forward 50. It's not a very good kick. Gets worried out of it there, Waitman, and Long does nicely. The handball, not so much. Gives it off to Bailey Smith. Now Williams. Almost got dragged down by Powell, but was good enough to get off the handball. Waitman gives it off to Jones in the pocket. This would be special. He just misses, though. Didn't really look inside there, Arthur Jones. He had an option. So Powell will take the kicking duties here for the Gold Coast. He goes long. Up goes English. Probably should have been paid a free kick. Didn't get it. And Gardner hobbles away here for the Dogs. Both subs have not been used at this stage, I believe. Subs are, I think it's Jai Farah and Mitch Hannon for their respective sides. I think it's actually O'Donnell who got taken off, who came off with the limping. So umpire lobs it in though. Witts wins it down, coming through as Roses, just wasn't clean enough. Eventually gets it to Swallow, drives it long, up goes Lukosius, just wasn't clean. Now on the ground, Fiorini gets beaten to it by Baker. Has some time, goes out the back, over to Richards, and now the Bulldogs can go through Dale. Dale has it, goes long towards the 50, it's Lob and Norton, both marking targets, neither can grab it. Long, has some time, does pretty nicely and finds Andrew. Hope you cover that one as well. When's that one next week? Sorry. Oh, God. Jamar, that was poor there from Andrew. Just had no awareness from Jones coming across him. Eventually does get the kick away with pressure on him, and it's actually a good option. So now long kick here for the Suns on the wing. Great mark there from Holman. He's been brilliant tonight. He wheels around on the left boot. He gets a smother though from English as he rebounds back to him. So Holman goes back. He finds McPherson, and he kicks an up and under job towards the forward 50. Up goes Davies, can't bring it with him. Coming through there as Arthur Jones does nicely. Gardner out the back, poor handball to Richards. Does nicely though there, Ed Richards, and he's on the run. He doesn't get rewarded for it, but he did very nicely. Jones out to Baker, goes back inside, nice handball. McRae, usually a pretty good ball user, goes to Norton in a one-on-one. Great kick. And he finds Aaron Norton about 45 out, 45-degree angle. Has the leading Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Gets at the back of him. Who gets there first? It's Collins. Tried to hit it to the boundary line. Wasn't worth it. Now Bontempelli should be gone. Play on. Get the kick away. Tries to dive across Andrew's feet. The kick goes up and under. We've gone about 10 metres. Fiorini got a toe to it. Rao can't pick it up. Very strong over it though. Get the kick away and across comes Captain Witts. Great mark. Really hate those swipers hitting my helmet while riding, not the team though. Oh shit. Goes long with the kick, up goes Casbolt. Great mark. It's been quiet tonight, but he did good there. Oh shit. So Casbolt goes down the wing. It's a dangerous kick. Don't know about kicking it to Fiorini in a one-on-one. And Baker worries him out of it, takes the turnover. Goes long to a one-on-one. It's a poor kick, and Ballard takes the mark. Should be 50. And 50 for Ballard. Free kick and 50 for Ballard was probably there. So the Gold Coast get a little bit of luck here from the umpires. Norton thought it was touched, but he immediately went to go grab him, and that's usually 50. Gives it off to Noah Anderson, who drives it long. Up goes Casbolt from 3 deep, couldn't bring it with him. Jones gets tackled, he dropped that one. Should be gone, not paid. Ray gives it off to McRae. He kicks it long. It's a long kick to Jones. He couldn't bring it down, though. Witts somehow tapped it onto Long, who just puts it back inside the forward 50. Casbolt comes forward, can't bring it with him. Holman, the little dance step out to the left, gives it back to Rao, who jams it towards goal. Matt Rao, you star! Great finish! The Gold Coast get the first of the last. Great finish from Matt Rao. The Gold Coast send a real shiver through the Bulldogs' spines right now. He can definitely bring that to his game, Matt Rao, and that's a great finish on the right boot, just wheeling around from about 50. Always known as that bull in the middle, but a goal-kicking midfielder is worth their weight in gold. Currently had 22 touches, arguably being best on the ground at the moment. Has had 12 clearances in this game so far. He's been brilliant, Matt Rao. Coming along nicely. It wasn't 50, it was about 40, but whatever. Good finish. He loved it too. The big bull. Likes to eat grass before games, and I love to see that. I love that he did that and then just did it the next week. Like, doesn't give a fuck. That was hilarious. Back in the ruck now. Witts gets a little tap down, but only as far as Bontempelli. Has some space and drives it back inside the forward 50. The Dogs need one now. Ballard, great mark. He's been brilliant tonight. McNeil has been subbed out for the Bulldogs. They've made their sub, so Mitch Hannon is into the game. Gold Coast still yet to make their sub at this stage. Ballard has been brilliant tonight. Oh, as I say that, he gets an absolute floater, which somehow lands in the lap of David Swallow. Somehow got to Swallow. Eventually gets the kick down towards the wing. Up goes Witts. Good spoil from behind. Scott wasn't clean enough and just fumbled it out of bounds. Still 16 minutes to go. There's heaps of time for the Bulldogs, but the Suns have been brilliant tonight. As one of you guys said in the chat, yeah, I think it was Osho a little bit earlier, said the Suns do deserve the win. I kind of agree. I think they played brilliantly. So back in the ruck once again. Witts wins it down. Coming through as Rao. Probably didn't need to grab it. Did nicely there. McPherson jams it towards the forward 50. Scott going back with the flight. Just put a fist to it, which I think was a good idea. Just thumps it out of bounds. Luke Beveridge looking for some answers on his computer. Don't think there's going to be many there at the moment. They just need to lift around the whole ground at the moment, the Bulldogs. Charlie hitting the spotlight. I think he's one of the best defenders in the competition. He's done very well tonight as well, because Norton has not been much of an influence. Witts in the ruck, taps it down. Bailey Smith gets tackled by two Suns, does get spill out of there, and it's Rao once again. He's been brilliant. Jams it on the left boot. It's not a very good kick, though. Up goes Atkins against two. He actually did pretty well to cause a contest. Anderson out the back. Great tackle. Spills out there to Liberatore from lob. He jams it forward. Andrew should have marked it. Left it down at the crucial stage. Hannon just came on as a sub. Should be fresh. Left it behind, though. Bontempelli did too. McPherson spills out to Swallow. He kicks it long. Gets past all the defenders. Travels towards 50. Anderson does brilliantly. Off to Holman. He's been good tonight. From 45 metres out. He's kicked it poorly and it's gone on the full. Look for answers on his computer. That's one of my commentary gold there, I think, guys. That's a highlight reel. So Liam Jones will take it from the defensive 50. A short kick finds Williams. Good option. Harry Mackay special. We love Harry Mackay here. He goes in short and finds McRae. So McRae looks long towards the outer wing to a one-on-one lob. Well done there from Ballard to give some gives a little bit of teammate help there. Couldn't think of the word. Well done there from Berry. He did very nicely against McRae. He doesn't have too many options, so he drives it long. It wasn't a very good kick to Lukosius. He's kicked 6. He taps it. He's kicked 5. Sorry, taps it back in nicely. Casbolt puts on a little bit of pressure. Out wide, Liam Jones does very nicely. Cool in that situation. Bailey Smith completely misread that ball. Gets out the back, and it'll be it. Well done from Jeffrey to knock it out of bounds. Keeps it locked in there, forward half of the Suns. I think every single AFL fan would want to see the Suns make finals this season. And they're playing very well tonight against a team who is definitely competing. So English and Witts in the ruck, once again. Witts gets a little tap down almost to himself. Couldn't bring it with him. Brow again. He's been brilliant. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Dre left it behind. Coming through was Lukosius. He just fumbled though. Holman, he's been pinned for holding the football. Can you believe it? The amount of times this... I mean, it was probably there, but come on. The amount of times players have been doing that tonight, and they pay that one. Whatever. So now Richards has the football in the back pocket. Goes long towards the wing. Andrew can come across. Can't do much with it, though. Lob drops the ball at the crucial stage. And Anthony Scott. Sorry, fucking hell. Gets the free kick in the wing for a push in the back. Yeah, that was there. Fiorini just pushed him fair straight in the back. So free kick to the Bulldogs on centre wing. Anthony Scott's been good at times tonight. Still just under 14 minutes to go, so there's heaps of time for the Bulldogs. Scott drives it long to the contest. Norton, he's just dropped it there. He should have done better with that. On the ground, though, Bontempelli's been brilliant. Handballs it forward. Jeffrey couldn't get to it. Witts does nicely. Gets tackled well from Smith. Just tapped it out very well, though. Anderson gets a lot of pressure from Jones. Just gives it off to Ballard. Makes it his problem. And the kick was poor, though. Dale cuts it off. Immediately goes to the contest inside the forward 50. Andrew did well, though. Pushed Hannon under the ball. Now he has to run onto that spoil. Williams does very well again, Andrew. He's actually done pretty well in the past few moments. Then soccers it off the ground there, McPherson. Handballs it at the back to Powell, who jams it on the left boot forward. It's not a good option, though, because Liam Jones is waiting. He eventually goes into the middle of the ground. It's a good option. McRae was worried out of it, but he'll get the free kick against Jared Witts, who was there. McRae gets the free kick in the middle, immediately goes to Ed Richards. He plays on. Lethal left boot, this man. Goes long to the top of the goal square to a 2-on-2. Bontempelli through his fingers. Drops the mark, and it goes through for a behind. To be honest, I said it lethal left boot from Ed Richards, but I think that was a poor option. He should have been looking for a short option instead of going long to the goal square in a 2-on-2. So Joel Jeffrey will take the kicking duties here for the Gold Coast. Was going to go commentary side, but decides to go on the outer. Long to a 2-on-2. He goes to be captain in Witts. He couldn't bring it with him, though. Eventually does nicely against Williams. Then the Bulldogs worry them out of it. Hannon gets it back to O'Brien, who goes long. Can't find Williams, though. Jeffrey coming through. Very, very confident there, but the kick is poor. Almost cut off there from Baker. Jeffrey misses the ball on the ground. He's had a couple of poor moments now. Then Baker almost got pushed in the back there from Jeffrey. Play onto the call. McRae gives it back to English. He's got an option inside. Great play there from Berry. But English is better in that option. Scott back to Smith. The Bulldogs need one. They could use one from their mullet man. It just misses. Back to 20 points the difference. Rao with 14 clearances. He's been amazing tonight. I think he's fighting Lukosius for the 3 votes, in my opinion. Long kick, can't bring it down, though, English. Coming down again is Rao, speak of the man. Gets the ball clear, and he's may have got a high one here, Matt Rao. He has. Such a team man as well. He's such a team man, wants the ball to go to the player in front of him. As a football fan, I'd like him at my club, but I want him to stay at the Gold Coast, because I want him to build with Noah Anderson and the young players up there. He goes long to a 1-on-1. Well done there from Casbolt. Should have taken the mark in the end, to be honest. Berry comes through. Almost got a high one from English. Bounds the call. Lukosius goes long. 1-on-1. King can't bring it with him, but goes down on the ground in the pocket. Ben King, don't tell me from there. Can't roll through, though. Williams is the last line. Does nicely. Gives off the handball to Dale. And now Dale has some time over the top. Good kick. And that's 50. That's poor from Darcy McPherson. Gives away the 50-metre penalty when they should have been locking them in. So Anthony Scott will travel 50 metres forward now for the Dogs. Another miss again. Where's Swan man to call out the Harry Mackay? Goes out wide. He finds Daniel. And now Daniel goes inside the forward 50 to a 1-on-1. Dougal Hagan actually bodied his player under it, but then left it behind. Now Waitman from the pocket to give the Bulldogs some hope. No, he misses to the left. Another behind of the Bulldogs. They've had their moments in this last quarter, but they just can't convert on the scoreboard. 19 points the difference. Maybe they'll catch back in points here, the Bulldogs. Will Power has the duties in the back goal square. Looks like they're going to go commentary side here, the Power. Gets a little bit of meterage and then goes long. Andrew and Lukosius are up there as the options. He gets out the back lob. Immediately swings around and kicks it forward. It's going to go to the pocket. No real option there. Would be deliberate if they were going the opposite way, but Obviously, going forward, they're not going to pay it. Be a forward stoppage here for the Dogs. Still 11 minutes to go. Will the Suns hang on? I don't know. At the moment, the Bulldogs just need to start finding people inside their forward 50 and they'll win this game. But they're using the ball horribly. They've had 18 more inside forward 50s. Lob in the ruck, taps it down. Bontempelli was held almost there by Swallow. Tapped out nicely from Baker, coming through Bailey Smith. Shrugs the tackle of Davies, but he fights back. Davies does nicely. O'Brien was a short kick. Good spoil there from Long on Waitman. Then does nicely there. Long to fist it away again. He's done nicely there. He's actually been a pretty underrated recruit. And actually, they've paid deliberate against Rory Atkins, I think. So Bontempelli will get the free kick. Basically, where the 50-metre line meets the boundary on the commentary side. Bontempelli decides to set it up towards the top of the goal. Grab goes Lob. Can't bring it with him. Casbolt taps it towards the line. Swallow then dribbles it towards the line. Baker keeps it in, though. Gives it off to Smith. Smith, who just handles it to really no one in particular. And Humphrey does nicely to step past Dale. Gives it into Roses. Gold Coast, nice little bit of composure there. And now McPherson goes out wide, but that kick is poor. Cut off well there from Williams. And he gets 50! "50 metres will go to Bailey Williams." I want to see that again, but fucking hell. I want to see that again. How you doing, Captain? I want to see that again, dude. That looked, oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, Bailey Williams here for about 25 metres out. Not much of an angle to speak of. Should convert, comes in, kicks towards goal and converts a nice finish. Back to 13 points, and the Suns will start to sweat. I want to see that again. $194 subs? That's awesome, man. Good job. I want to see that free kick again. Fuck looking at the umpire. Show us that 50. So he takes the mark. How is that 50? I mean, tell him to get off the mark. How many times they just let players do that and call them off the mark is ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. That is so harsh. Anderson kicks it forward, and I just left it behind there. It was Humphrey. Should get a high one, and the Gold Coast get a little bit of a reprieve there. Rory Atkins has been subbed out for the Suns, and Jai Farah has came in. And immediately actually gets a free kick here. Goes long with the kick towards the top of the goal square. King goes up. Out the back, Gardner fists it away. Davies got a fisted out of his hands there from Casbolt. Handles it out the back. Lob to English. English jams it on the boot. Goes long with it. Out the back. Does nicely there along with the body. Goes down to McPherson. Out to Humphrey. Breaks past one. Jams it on the boot. Jams it towards the top of the goal square. But English is sitting back. Does nicely. So English has some time. Goes towards the top of the 50th. Dangerous. But he gets the mark there, Baker. Play onto the call. Beats Ainsworth and runs out towards the wing. Goes long to a one-on-one. Does well there, Ballard. He's been brilliant tonight, Charlie Ballard on oh my god, I've just blanked. Norton. Fucking idiot. Anyway. Ballard goes long. English does nicely to fist it. O'Brien does nice to fist it down, but English can't get boot to ball. Eventually, good pressure there from the Gold Coast in Roses, but he'd get a high one here, English. So English will get a free kick. Play onto the call from the umpire. Roses immediately doesn't actually run at him. So he goes back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell goes across with a dangerous kick. It's not a very good option. Couldn't get it on the bounce there, Bailey Smith. Humphrey breaks past two. That was brilliant. Gives it on to one of the men of the match so far, to Rowell. He goes over the top to Casbolt, and Casbolt goes with a poor kick to Anderson. And he does not like that, Anderson. Liam Jones on the run down with a long kick down the wing to Hannon. He leaves it behind. Arthur Jones. Nice little spin job. But then Jai Farah with a great tackle. He should be gone here. And he is. Good play there from Jai Farah. He's looked good since he came on. That was great play. Arthur Jones would have thought he was maybe out of there and couldn't get a handball away, but he then caught him and he's buried. So Jai Farah from the Northern Territory goes long to a pack of players. Casbolt just dropped it. Davies drives it forward, but Tim O'Brien takes the mark at half back. Goes in short, and he finds Ed Richards. He plays on immediately. Then feigns in the kick on the left-hand side, but then breaks back into the middle. Goes long to a 2-on-1 with Waitman. But great play there from Joel Jeffrey, then left it behind. Waitman soccers it forward. Great little... I think it was actually a free kick given away from Powell. I think it was a professional free kick. He didn't want Waitman to get out the back. But now Waitman drives it towards Ugle-Hagan and a one-on-one! Jamara, great mark. You didn't know Giant knew how to tackle? Well, he's a half-back. I don't think they do tackle very often, do they? Great lead there from Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Left Collins in his wake. And a chance now to bring it back to 7 points. He's been a little bit on and off with set shot goal kicking tonight, Jamara. He's kicked 2. A chance here to kick his 3rd. A little skip step. A little stutter. A big moment. Jamara calls the fans up. Great finish. Back to 7 points. And this game's right on a knife's edge. Bro thinks he's a commentator. He is a commentator, dude. The crowd go up. There's a lot of people there tonight, which is good to see. Quite loud crowd. And they're getting a good contest at the moment. Gold Coast have been probably been better in this game, to be honest, but the Bulldogs have stuck with them. I thought Powell gave away a professional free kick, and to be honest, they probably should have. But Jamara Ugle-Hagan just got a little tiny pocket of space, and he used it to his advantage. And now it's back to within 7 points. The Dogs. They've been this close in the past few quarters. But the Gold Coast have been able to settle and kick a couple of late ones. So a big chance here for the Bulldogs. English in the ruck knocks it down. Now it's fisted forward though. Coming through is Arthur Jones. Gets out the handball to McRae. And now Baker out the front here towards the wing. Looks back then goes forward. Whistle's been blown. And a free kick will go to the Bulldogs downfield. Free kick to Cody Waitman. As it happened, Ben Long has... He has absolutely played for that. We'll see you later, Captain. Appreciate you joining the stream. A chance here to bring it back to 1 point. Cody Waitman kicks towards goal. He's nailed it. Back to 1 point. That is a fucking... Oh my God. I hate that. That is shocking. He's dropped his knees inside the forward 50 and leaned into Ben Long's arm to get a free kick there. That is fucking woeful. That's tough against Ben Long. Just got to settle though. 1 point the difference. The Bulldogs are right in this one. That is... I fucking hate that. Back in the ruck. Witts takes it out of there, does nicely, and gets the clearance forward. Now, Farah wasn't too tough over the football, but a good tackle there on Lob. Drives him into the ground. He's got a free kick. Oh, jeez. I'm not even a Gold Coast fan, but fuck me. Gives it out back to Dale, and now Bontempelli drives it long out towards the wing. Williams will get there first, most likely. Fiorini fighting hard. Does nicely to get the football and then walked out of bounds. 20 free kicks to 10. Doesn't have to be even, but fuck me. That's a love tackle. Witts knocks it down. Coming through was Rao. Gets taken almost without it there from Dale. Slung to ground. Play onto the call though. Jeffrey just soccers it away towards his captain in Witts. Now Humphrey. Good play. Gets it out to Jeffrey, but he's definitely out of bounds. Oh, dude! Dude! These umpires suck! He was way out of bounds. Dude. So a ball up out on the centre wing on the commentary side now. Crowder getting an absolute epic at the moment. Fisted forward there from Witts. Coming through the back of the stoppage, that was Dale. Almost pushed in the back, and he's taken out of bounds. Jeffrey was 2 metres out of bounds there when he kicked that. I saw that. But, I mean, yeah, I get a better angle, obviously, because I'm watching it on screen. But, fuck me, he was out of bounds by 2 metres. So the throw-in's made. English gets the tap down. Coming through is Caleb Daniel. Does nicely. Gets out the handball eventually. The Dale, who jams on the left boot forward. Up goes Waitman. Plays for the free kick, and he gets it again. Play onto the call at the back of Hannon. He plays to the whistle. The kick is actually poor, but it will work here for Norton. He picks it up. Hannon in the pocket. This would be something. Hannon steps it up towards the top of the goal square. It's not a very good option. Ainsworth wasn't tough over it, though. Lob handles it inside. Scott, great tackle from Andrew. And it'll be a ball up. 4 minutes to go. That was a great tackle there from Andrew. Scott looked like he was about to turn him out of trouble, but he just tackled him at the crucial stage. Currently on the live ladder, the Gold Coast. Won't get much percentage from this, but the Bulldogs, if they win tonight, will be in the top 4. Rao jams it on the boot. Goes long towards the 50. Up goes English. Can't win it, though. Dre on the ground. Can't win it either. Holman was brilliant. Gets it out now to Powell. Off to Humphrey. He wanted Powell to keep running. He didn't, though. So he gets Ainsworth with a little bit of support. And he jams it long, but it's a poor option. And Jones cuts it off. Still 4 minutes to go. There's heaps of time. Liam Jones takes a breath. He eventually wheels around on the right and goes long. It's not a very good option. And out the back, great mark from Swallow. Inspirational leader, David Swallow. He was brilliant there. So Swallow wheels around on the right boot. Goes long. Again, they're going long to Liam Jones. But up goes Casbolt. Can't bring it with him. Rao coming through. Good tackle. And eventually gets out the handball. McRae and Liberatore drives it long. A pack of players. Bontempelli can't mark it. Andrew claims it and he's got it. It's blown out to a 1-point lead. I know, man. It's an absolute blowout at the moment, I show. Had a couple of moments in this game, Andrew, but he's been good in the past few minutes. Up goes Jones to the fist from 3 deep. Does nicely. Holman gets it through to Witts. Then Casbolt sockers it off the ground. Just gets a meterage. Good play. And now at the front, it's Jai Farah, the fresh man. Goes over the top. Can Lukosius run onto it? It skids. It rolls. It's tapped. Was that going through? I think it was going to hit the post. But Lukosius is limping and it's a 2-point ball game. I think it was hitting the post. But I don't know why Lukosius didn't throw a boot at it. So back in the middle of the ground. Rao gets the football to Powell. Powell drives it to a 1-on-1 in the goal square. It's Lukosius. He should get a free. He doesn't. Humphrey in the pocket. You beauty. Bailey Humphrey gives it to the crowd. What a finish from the young man. The Gold Coast take an 8-point lead. What a moment. What a massive finish. Should have been a free kick to Lukosius. But Bailey Humphreys had a brilliant game and a great moment there. Could that be the match winner? 2.5 minutes to go. There's still time. But what a finish from Bailey Humphrey. He loved it too. He gave it to the crowd. There were Bulldogs fans standing on the fence. And he gave it to him. Rao again. He's been brilliant. He's such a bull in the middle in that moment as well. That should have probably been a free kick to Lukosius. He looked for the free. He didn't get it. But then Humphrey was like, I'll just finish it for us, boys. What a moment. What a moment. Powell did well there too as well. But that great play there from the Gold Coast. They could be understandably a little bit shaken at the moment. But that was a great moment. Back in the stoppage. And the Gold Coast are going to have a free kick. And the Bulldogs are understandably shocked because they have been getting the free kicks all night. Matt Rao will take the free kick. He goes long towards the forward 50. Up goes Casbolt. Well done there from Liam Jones. And a free kick will go to the Bulldogs. So clarity is restored. The Bulldogs get the free kick. It was there, that one. Then Gardner plays on to really no effect. Handballs it back to Jones. He goes long down to the wing. Up goes Norton from behind. Can't bring it down. Daniel, good tackle there from Holman. He's been good tonight. It'll be a ball up. It looks no. Daniel's going to get a free kick for a high one. No, it is a ball up. Don't listen to me, I'm an idiot. 2 minutes to go. There's still time for the Bulldogs. Back in the ruck. Witts wins it down. McRae tries to get the clearance. He hit 2 of his teammates in front of him. One was Bontempelli. He picks it up. Handballs it forward. Smith does nicely Liberatore. He kicks it forward. 2-on-1. Ballard can't win it though. Norton on the ground. Jams it on the right boot. It's swinging towards goal. Will it get there? Powell gets there, but he bounces into the post. What a moment. That hit the post. The umpire missed it. That hit the post though. I'm pretty sure. Umpire's called a goal. The ball bounces inside and then hits the post. That's a point. It's hit the back of the goal post. It's hit the flag. You can see it there. That counts as the goal post, so that will be a behind of the Bulldogs. That was huge. So 7 points the difference, the Gold Coast lead. Could that have been the last moment for the Bulldogs? Good call from Swansman in the chat. He called that point just before we saw it on screen. So there's still a bit of time left. Powell kicks it long towards the wing. Minute and a half to go. Up goes a huge pack of players. On the ground, it's Liberatore. Good tackle from Rao. O'Brien gets the kick away, but it's straight up in the air. Can't grab it there. Was Witts, and then Rao takes 2 tacklers, as he always does. Will be another ball up. Minute 22 to go. Still time for the Bulldogs. Only 7 points. They're inside their forward half. Free kick to Witts it will be. Against English. That's a free kick to Witts. And now the Gold Coast Suns just need a hold. So now Witts takes a deep breath. Didn't have many options. The Bulldogs manned up well. He goes long down the wing. Up goes King from 4 deep. Couldn't bring it down. Rao almost tackled without it. Bontempelli tries to break one tackle and he's gone. Great tackle from David Swallow. Inspirational leader. And that should be ball game. So now David Swallow has some time. Goes long towards the forward 50. Up goes Casbolt. That's the game. 37 seconds to go. He should take all the time in the world. He goes towards the forward pocket. And he finds Jai Farah, who's been brilliant as the sub tonight. What a blowout, as the O-Show called it. 22 seconds. Time will run out for the Bulldogs. The Gold Coast with a massive win tonight up in Darwin. Actually plays it pretty well there, Farah. He goes back and he finds Anderson. So 10 seconds to go. Anderson will take all the time in the world. He wheels around on the right boot. Goes to the forward pocket. Humphrey's there. Could he mark it? No, he can't. Hits the ground. Gardner to Dale. The siren will go, though. The Suns have won. What a moment for the Suns. They've played brilliantly tonight. They deserve this win. What a massive upset in this one. At the end of this game, the Gold Coast win 13-6-84 to the Bulldogs, 11-11-77. You still can't believe the Farah can tackle. I don't know why I find that so funny, but it is. That's hilarious. Great win from the Suns, it's called in the chat. I think they could be a chance now, as the live ladder suggests. Let's quickly bring that up. I'll bring it up in the... Alright, I'll bring it up. So currently now with that win, bringing on the live ladder, the Bulldogs come right back to the pack. They're on 28 points. They're 6th now. So these 3 teams, Melbourne, St Kilda and Bulldogs, drop massive games today. And the winner, if Port can win tomorrow and Brisbane win tomorrow, they give themselves a 2-game gap. Did you hit the... No, you didn't. What the fuck? Oh my god, my fucking mouse died, of course. Oh, my mouse died. Awesome. Good on me. So as we see it, the Gold Coast Suns come back into the chance though. They're a game out of top 8. The Crows win tomorrow though. They keep themselves alive. Yeah, I think it's a big win for the Gold Coast. That's huge. But nonetheless, guys, I've got to go to the bathroom, so I'll end the stream there. Thanks for watching today. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this stream, if you like me commentating this sort of stuff. If you want to find out sort of things like votes and stuff that I like to give for these games, then check us out on Instagram or Facebook, as you can see on the screen on top there, guys. But thanks for watching. That's all from me, so I'll catch you all later. Probably tomorrow as well, because I will be doing the live stream of the Crows and Brisbane game. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all later.